Well, biggest party of the summer, huh? I mean, it's apparent because WWE has done a two-night SummerSlam now, and that's what it's going to be looking like from this point forward. 100,000 people between two nights at MetLife Stadium. Next year, Minneapolis, because they're not getting a two-night WrestleMania, they are getting a two-night SummerSlam. Anybody who is wanting or begging WWE to back off of a two-night SummerSlam, you better get used to it, because TKO made a lot of money over that weekend, and it's, you want to call WWE in a boom period right now? I mean, I don't know if I can say that creatively, but financially, they're doing well. And the first ever two-night SummerSlam here, Tomas, was no exception to that.
The WWE is in a very, very interesting place with me. There's a lot of malpractices going on right now in the company that, for a lot of fans, have been turning them away. I've been watching WWE ever since I was 8 years old, so unfortunately, it's going to take a lot more than that to drive me away as a fan. But all I'm going to say is, if you're upset with the company, I understand. There's a lot of things they're doing right now that don't make me happy as a fan, as a consumer, as a person. And I feel like all of those points are going to get brought up during this review. Nonetheless, when it comes to a two-night SummerSlam, I personally don't think it's necessary. It took me a year or two to get used to the two-night WrestleMania format, and now I look at that as a very good idea. When it comes to SummerSlam, I don't know. Is it just me, or did this feel more like WrestleMania than WrestleMania did?
You're telling me. I thought this was a better show than WrestleMania was overall.
Quality of the show, I'm going to leave that up to the fans to decide. I thought this was a very strong SummerSlam, and I'm going to agree with you and say SummerSlam was a better WrestleMania than WrestleMania was, which is very sad to say. We are a week late in this review, and with that, a lot of people's opinions, a lot of people's reviews have already come out for the show. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of disdain for the show. I've seen a lot of people saying across the two nights, there was only two good matches, which I 100% disagree with. It just, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of these pay-per-views with friends, and I've noticed when you watch the product with friends, it's a lot more fun. And then I go and I hop on and I listen to these reviews. It just sounds like everybody has a stick up their ass and they don't know how to have fun watching wrestling anymore. But at the same time, I understand the criticisms of the show. I'm not going to sit here and say this is a weak show, this is a mediocre show. And it's weird that I'm saying show when I should be saying shows, because it was a two-night event.
Yeah, I count it all as one show. I
think night two was stronger than night one.
Oh, of course it was.
Wade Barrett said on night two that night two is always better, which I don't know. Maybe they had a conversation with him afterwards saying, Barry, you can't decrease. You got to say both nights are good. But with you, wow, man, if I could spit it out, with what you were just saying, it just feels like it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. It's going to be the format. Before you know it, Royal Rumble is going to be two nights. Survivor Series is going to be two nights. And then the novelty of WrestleMania being two nights, is it just me, or does the novelty of WrestleMania start to decrease by each passing year? WrestleMania was the show we all look forward to. It was supposed to be the show with the biggest set, the biggest presentation quality, the biggest matches. Now it just feels like another show on the calendar. Yeah. And what makes WrestleMania special, if SummerSlam is going to get the stadium treatment, what makes WrestleMania special, they're going to Saudi Arabia multiple times a year, and those shows are going to be in stadiums, and you have all the international shows. And it's just like, it's safe to say that TKO just cares about making a buck instead of making the show special for the fans, which is another thing that just like kind of has me between a rock and a hard place with WWE. I even had a friend over the week say that they were just going to exclusively stick to AEW, and I was telling him I can't do that. And when he asked me what my issues with AEW are, it's not that I don't have major issues with AEW. It's just, I don't know. I just imagine myself just being an AEW fan, and it just wouldn't hit the same.
No. And we've said it from the very beginning. AEW existing is good because competition is good, because that's going to inspire WWE to be better. And I would say that storytelling-wise, other than, Like, it's certainly a better product than it was when Vince McMahon was in charge the last couple of years. It's certainly more stomachable. The
But at the
stories are a bit
same
more
time,
investing. Yeah.
at the same time, I'm starting to noticing the kinks in the armor that is Triple H, a man that we literally put on a pedestal and worship as a god a couple years ago. Now I'm starting to see the flaws in his booking. I'm starting to see the flaws in his presentation. We were literally begging Triple H to save us in 2018 and 2019 because he was doing such a good job with NXT. But now that he's, full creative control on WWE for Raw and SmackDown, I'm starting to see the kinks in the armor. And like I said, the show's a week old. And I'm sorry, I'm starting to see some Vince-isms in Triple H, like the constant disqualification finishes, champions getting pinned, every single show opening with a promo. These are Vince-isms, and they are starting to bleed into Triple H's product. Overall, I can still say he handles certain stars better. I can say he handles certain storylines better. But there are still certain wrestlers, and even some on this show, that I still look at and go, you could be doing more with so-and-so. Be doing more with so-and-so. Why is the Women's Intercontinental Championship so strong? And meanwhile, Julia's the United States champion, and I forget that she's the United States champion. Why isn't this person on the show? Why isn't that person on the show? Why isn't this person in a high-profile storyline? Why is that person in a high-story profile? And you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's
I hear
just
you.
a very. I see. I'm sorry, I got distracted by a text. I just see,
It's okay.
I'm very on the fence, very wishy-washy how I feel about WWE. And then you see things like, we might as well bring this up now, the new media rights deal with ESPN and
Oh
how
boy. Oh boy.
the
I mean, I do.
waters are very muddied right now, which, how do we access this? What's going to be accessible? What isn't going to be accessible? If you don't have A, B, C, or D, you are paying $29.99 for a subscription service to watch Flash in Paris. And it's just, it's very, I don't know how to feel about it right now as a fan, as a consumer. It doesn't matter how much we yell. It doesn't matter how much we complain. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And who knows? It's probably going to get worse and just continue to get worse.
They're going to do what they want to do, and we just have to enjoy it, I guess. But that's what we're here to do as critics, is tell you what was good and bad from SummerSlam. Which, again, I thought it was a very strong show. I really did.
We sit here and try to be as unbiased as possible. I can't sit here and say, scold WWE for this, where meanwhile, AEW still thinks it's $19.99 and they're charging us $50 for every pay-per-view. And, I just think there's aspects in both companies where it's like, when I was thinking about it, when my friend asked me, what are your issues with AEW? And I also realized, I feel like AEW stories are good, but compared to the presentation and like the passion that WWE puts into theirs, AEW just storylines just come off as hollow. Like we talked about with All In, you compare Hangman Adam Page winning the world title versus Cody Rhodes winning the WWE title. I felt more when Cody won. I, was very happy when Hangman Page Adam. Wow, I'm on another planet today. When Hangman Page, I was so happy he won the title, and it was the correct finish to that story. I didn't like how we got there, but it's like I compared the two, and it's like I felt more emotion when Cody won the title versus
because
Hangman Page won the title.
Because Cody invokes that emotion out of you. That's what he's so good at as a babyface. But Cody's match and his story, we will not be talking about until the end of this podcast because he is the main event of the weekend. This show, 12 matches on it between both nights, which again might seem a bit like overkill for SummerSlam, but you know what? If it gives people like Sami Zayn, who wasn't on WrestleMania, more opportunities, then I don't really care. But here we go. The SummerSlam 2025 opens up. Cardi B is the host of this show, which I completely forgot about until she came out. And then
WWE didn't do a really good job of advertising her. I feel like they advertised her like 6 months in advance, and then they just stopped. And if you're a Cardi B fan, I sure hope you weren't hoping to see more of her, because she does this opening segment, and that's it.
Yeah,
we don't see her again.
She fangirls over Randy Orton, and that's about it. That's about all you
Yeah.
see of her.
Yeah.
But in any regard, another person she was fanboying over, Roman Reigns, is in the opening contest here. It is tag team action playa. Roman Reigns is teaming with his cousin, main event Jey Uso. This team only has about a 33.3% chance of winning this match because they're up against Braun Breaker, son of a Steiner, and Bronson Reed, accompanied by Paul Heyman, a team that is now collectively known as the Vision under Seth Rollins, which fucking finally this faction gets a name, and it's a great name.
Bronson Reed has now been crowned with the name of the Tribal Thief, coming out to the ring, adorning the Shula Fala. Bronson Reed has attacked Roman Reigns. Bronson Reed has attacked Roman Reigns on a couple of occasions. Roman Reigns made his big return to television, I want to say after Money in the Bank, to kick off this feud. And Bronson Reed delivers a couple of tsunamis to Roman Reigns. And just like a playground bully, something you would see straight off the streets, he takes the shoes off of Roman Reigns and he is wearing them around his neck.
It takes his Air Jordans.
Yeah, straight off his feet, puts them around his neck. I think it's a really cool gimmick for Bronson Reed because you look at this faction and it's crazy that obviously Braun Breaker is the guy they want to push. He's the guy that Paul Heyman is literally calling the future of WrestleMania. But Bronson Reed is a big dude. Bronson Reed is a big hoss. Why are we ignoring him? So I'm glad he's the one doing this.
It gives him some character, because Bronson Reed is known to be a pretty funny guy, especially being down bad for Sabrina Carpenter on social media, as we were talking about.
I look at this and everyone's saying, "Oh, when are we going to get Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns? When are we going to get Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns?" With the way Bronson Reed is just like dog walking Roman Reigns right now, I want to see Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns more. Honestly, this is what they're building to.
Well, rumor has it that's the Paris match. So
I want to see that. And a spoiler alert, on Monday, Bronson Reed takes out Roman Reigns again, and he takes his shoes again. So this man is literally collecting Air Jordans like they're Infinity Stones.
Yes.
And he cut a really cool video package on Raw talking about stealing the shoes of Reigns. And I'm like, I'm invested in this story now. Breaker and Reigns, we can do that later, but I want to see Reed and Reigns because that's an interesting match. Bronson Reed has charisma. Bronson Reed has character. Bronson Reed is really putting in the work, and he does not. How can you ignore a man like him? How can you ignore the hot villa? And it feels like they're just pushing him into the background, which, hot take, I think he should be the guy getting the push. I love Braun Breaker. I'm a mark for Braun Breaker. Breaker's going to get the push regardless, but it's like, don't forget about Big Bronson Reed. I'm a mark for him too.
Don't sleep on Big Bronson. Don't sleep on the thick boy. You know who else people seem to be sleeping on is Jey Uso at this point, which seems strange considering this man won the fucking Royal Rumble this year. But now he has a gimmick where during the match he'll do a dive, and it's pretty early on when this happens. How everybody does the yeet thing and everybody goes wild during his entrance? Pretty early on in this match, he does this, and that basically is telling the monkeys in the back to play his music again so that he can yeet with the crowd. And he looks to Roman for approval this time, and Roman's like, why not? Why not? So they play his music again. And
I really like that spot because I have a very, very, very hot take that you're probably going to disagree with. Roman Reigns is starting to lose aura with me. This man needs a little bit of character because you look at his character and his development, and I have no reason to cheer this man right now. He never apologized to Jay. He never apologized to Jimmy. He never reconciled with Solo Sikoa. After losing the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes did not have to help him. And does Roman Reigns thank him? Does Roman Reigns kind of show remorse because you want to bury the hatchet with Cody Rhodes like Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland did? No, he tells Cody, you're in the way of life. And it's like, this man does not have to help you. I just feel like there's no development with Roman Reigns as a babyface. I look at him and I go, why am I cheering for this man? He's still a dictator. He questioned Sami Zayn's royalty last year in Saudi Arabia. There's no reason for me to cheer for him. So I want to see a little more development from Roman Reigns. And I'm sorry, I don't want to say he's not doing anything for me right now, but ever since he lost the championship, I don't think he needs to be on such high as a pedestal as everyone's put. Because people were talking about this match main eventing the show. And I'm like, no. Absolutely not.
I'm so glad this opened the show. Because Roman Reigns
doesn't have the crutch of the world championship, it's like, okay, he can still be a main eventer. He can still be over with the fans, but you can't just rely on he's the OTC. He commands respect.
Right.
You got to do a little more than that. Put a little more effort into the big dog.
Well, and, especially considering that Roman Reigns is basically the new Brock Lesnar, and I could say that because I'm confident in saying that Brock Lesnar is never fucking coming back. He can have that schedule. He can have the Brock Lesnar-like schedule where he shows up for the pay-per-view every now and then. He can have a story, but he only needs to show up for the big matches. And here he is in the opener, and basically, once he's done with this match, he can go off and do his own thing.
Well, he got written off of TV because he's going to be in the new Street Fighter movie, so he's going to need to film his role for a few weeks. And so is Cody Rhodes. More on that later. But another thing I really liked about this match is that, again, character. Braun Breaker was showing a lot of character at this match. He was really fucking funny.
doing the push-ups, and then singing the British chant of Roman Reigns' name.
I think he was walking the yeet at one point too, and that's what I want to see from these guys. Like, we know they're good wrestlers, we know they're good talkers. I want to see a little personality. Like,
and I want to see him do more like stupid Steiner moments. Like, for example, last Monday on Raw, CM Punk and LA Knight were in the ring about to fight off the Vision, and Braun Breaker's like, "You're 47 and you're 40. You guys are like 100 combined. You can't do anything."
Yeah,
can this guy not add?
His uncle Scott, so of course he can add. The Steiners are mathematicians.
No, they're not. Fucking Steiner math. But in any case, Roman Reigns is making his big comeback. And that's another thing. This match was pretty long. It felt like a main event level match in the opener, which I appreciate that they're putting Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed in this situation. But sometimes the pacing felt a little bit off because Roman Reigns gets a hot tag like halfway through. And the match is going on for another good 10-15 minutes after that.
This match clocks in at 21 minutes, and something I realized halfway through the match, 3 out of the 4 guys in this match use the spear as their finisher.
That's right.
That's too much.
And
that's
somehow
way too much.
Somehow Bron Breakker is the best out of all 3.
Yeah. Best spear in the business.
Best spear in the business.
And if you get upset over that, you just got work, brother.
Yeah. So one thing I did pop for was Roman and Jay hitting the 1D on Bronson Reed, which is a move the Usos did, and a move that was very protected during the Usos 600-plus day reign as the tag team champions. Bron Breakker does break up the pin at that point because, as you said, he fucking breaks things, so he has to break the pinfall attempt up.
Oh, yeah, and Reigns struggled to get Big Bronson Reed up for this 1D, which... you should. Man's like over 300 pounds.
He's a fat boy, so
crazy get him up. In this faction, Reed is considered the fall guy, and that should be a crime in all 50 states and several countries as well.
Yeah, because Roman, what happens in the finish is he pushes his cousin out of the way to take the bullet of the Bron Breakker spear, and then, somehow Bronson Reed and Jay are the legal men. Jay does the Uso splash on the thick boy, and you get the 3 count, and Roman and Jay win. I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised that Jey Uso was the one who got the win for his team, which you should keep him strong because he won the Royal Rumble and was the world champion for a while. So, yeah, this was, I want to say 3.5. It was a fun enough opener. So, yeah. This
was a fun opener. It got the crowd excited. You have the OTC in the ring. You have Jay doing the yeet. It's a good way to get the crowd excited. I'm hearing a lot of people upset that Reed and Breakker lost, but it's like, I think I don't know. It's like the way they booked this feud on Raw. This is Roman Reigns' first match since WrestleMania. I don't think they were going to have him lose. And the more Jay loses, the more ammunition fans are going to be like, see, why was this guy world champion to begin with? It's just one of those instances where it didn't matter who won this match. Someone was going to be upset. And that's another thing I just have for fans. Like, just let it go sometimes. I know there's some instances where somebody loses and it's a big deal, or somebody wins and it's a big deal, but you can't get like that with every match. I have the philosophy of, in pro wrestling, there needs to be a winner and there needs to be a loser. And a lot of fans and bookers believe that if somebody loses, they're just going to disintegrate. They're going to spontaneously combust and you're never going to see them again. I think Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed will be fine.
Yeah.
I promise they will both wake up in the morning, you will see them on Monday Night Raw next week. You will see them on future pay-per-views. You will see a title around Braun Breaker's waist. When we get the Breaker and Reigns match, Breaker will probably win. It's like,
so let me just rephrase. Let me just in short rephrase that and say to all the dumbasses who thought that the Vision should have won this match, this was not a burial. Okay, a burial is what Starrcade 1997 was, when Hulk Hogan basically beat Sting clean after an 18-month build for the WCW Championship. That is a burial. Because you were trying to make your future of the business and your franchise players look like complete goofs.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed look like the complete opposite of goofs. They look like killers in this match.
They lost to a former world champion in Jay, and they lost to a man who held the WWE Championship for 1,000+ days.
Yep.
For the span of 4 years.
Not a burial.
I think losing to Roman Reigns is a burial.
Yeah, not a burial. So
this is not the end of the story. It's like chapter 1.
Yep.
If you stop reading a book after chapter 1, then I got some bad. I feel bad for you because you probably missed out in a lot of good books. Like imagine you read the first chapter of Harry Potter and went, "Wow, Harry gets abused by his uncle and his cousin. I don't want to read this anymore." It's like, well, if you keep reading, they're going to find out he becomes a wizard and his family's going to get what's coming to him. So
yeah, but
stop reading after chapter 1.
This podcast also isn't about praising J.K. Rowling either, because she's a...
Oh, I wasn't praising her. I was
memorizing
a story.
Memorizing a story, yeah. But we're also, because she's a piece of trash. But anyway, what do we got next?
Up next, for the women's tag team titles, I was happy to see this match on the show. It is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss challenging Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Flair and Bliss won a number 1 contenders match on SmackDown to earn this shot. And again, just like we said at Evolution,
they're not really friends.
Cool. They're not friends.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see their on-screen chemistry just grow and grow and grow as the weeks go on by. Because, like I said, it reminds me of American Alpha and NXT. You have Alexa Bliss, who is begging Charlotte to be her partner. Charlotte doesn't want to do it. Charlotte is above this tag team crap. She wants the women's championship back. She wants to get back in the main event scene. But then after all this pushing and prodding and Nick Aldis straight up teaming them up together, in Charlotte and Bliss not only having success in the team, but Charlotte taking the bullet for Bliss at Evolution during that fatal 4-way tag, it's kind of like we're growing on each other. And Charlotte almost says the F word. Ooh, friends. Because Charlotte has never really had a friend in the business. So it's really cool to see this friendship and this relationship slowly build. And of course, they're taking on Perez and Rodriguez, who are also kind of in their own little frenemy storyline, with Liv Morgan being out of action, Perez trying to weasel her way into the Judgment Day, and Rodriguez hasn't quite earned her trust, but with every title defense after every match, again, Perez is growing under Rodriguez. So I like the dynamics of both teams in this match. And I know what joke you're going to make. If you're going to do a random tag team, at least make a random tag team that has substance.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say it fully reminds me of it, like bar for bar. But Charlotte and Bliss could be the female Booker T and Goldust. Because
of all time. I mean, because the difference is neither one of them have a Goldust like gimmick that could make that comedy like pop like it did with Booker. You know, I would equate this more to Rock and Sock Connection. Because Rock and Foley were both main event level players who hated each other.
Polar opposites too. Rock's the pretty boy. Foley's, only he has a face only a mother can love.
Dude,
Rock is all about the stylish stuff, and Foley's crashing through tables and thumbtacks.
6 months before the Rock and Sock Connection even won the tag team titles, remember Rock was bashing Mick Foley's head in 11 times with unprotected chair shots right in the head in that infamous I Quit match. And then fast forward 6 months and they're the tag team champions of the world. Wrestling is wild sometimes.
And never forget, do you quit? You can kiss the Rock.
You can kiss the Rock's ass.
That's still my favorite spot in the match.
You tell the great one, I quit. Oh, the Rock just lost the match. Rock just lost. So that's how it should work. Match. This one was actually some pretty good women's wrestling as well. I was very impressed that Roxanne Perez was able to hit pop rocks on Charlotte, as tall as Charlotte is.
Yeah.
Like it's and she was able. Charlotte still got it, gang.
She
I
does.
am eating my I am eating a big fat bowl of crow.
I
Because
don't want to say I'm eating a bowl of crow. It's just very, like we said in the last pod, it's very refreshing to not only see Charlotte in a storyline that doesn't involve the women's championship, but to see a more human side of her. And I think
yep,
that's what helps for me. I wanted to see Charlotte dig herself out of the hole because I fully admit I am your average Charlotte enjoyer, and you saw me at the very end of my brink. I was on the very brink with Charlotte during the WrestleMania review, where I
yep.
had protected her throughout WrestleMania 34, 35, 36, you name it. I always defended Charlotte. I think Mania 41, that was my tipping point. But to
Me
see
too.
the inside of her and to see something refreshing out of her, it's very nice. So
Well,
I and that's why I enjoyed this match.
and that Players Tribune article she wrote, which was very heartfelt, it's won me over. It really has. Just considering the fact that she is living out this dream in the honor of her late brother Reed, like it's inspiring. And honestly, I am gonna root for Ashley Flyer's success like nobody else now. But the finish of this match, again, second match in a row where I'm surprised the person who got the pin did. Charlotte boots Raquel in the head, which allows Alexa Bliss to nail that Sister Abigail DDT on Roxanne.
Well, hold on. There's a very important detail
Yeah,
in this match that led to this. Bliss accidentally nailed Charlotte in the middle of the match, which
thank you.
made me believe, oh, maybe they're not going to win the tag team titles, and maybe this storyline needs a little more seasoning. But again, I'm going to praise WWE and Triple H in their production quality when credit is due. They have this amazing shot of Bliss about to give Perez the Sister Abigail, and Charlotte is in the background, and the look on her face is like, "You did not just hit me. You're gonna get your receipt." It looks like Charlotte's gonna boot Bliss in the face, and then out of nowhere you see Rodriguez come, and Charlotte was never gonna hit Bliss. She was aiming for Rodriguez, so that was excellent camera work, and
Good
they had me in
job.
the first half. Not gonna lie.
Good job, Lee Fitting. I like the
Mhm.
cinematography. But yeah, Sister Abigail DDT on Roxanne, and you have new champions. And I'm very looking forward to seeing what this run of the We're Not Friends tag team between Charlotte and Alexa. That's literally what it says on their T-shirt on WWE Shop. We're Not Friends with both of their logos on it.
I'm a little shocked that they put the titles on them so soon, but I was also very happy. It was one of those.
It felt like
Stop
the
being,
right time, though. It felt like
yeah,
the right
like
time.
for me, it felt like stop being a mark and be a fan. And I was a fan. I marked out when Charlotte and Bliss won the titles. And again, the relationship is still building because I love the promo they cut on Raw where Bliss tells Charlotte, "You were about to say the F word, friends." And Charlotte said, "No, no, let's not get too ahead of ourselves." And then Bliss takes her title and dances around the ring and says, "Well, as long as I have this, you're stuck with me." It's like, I love stuff like that. I want to see more of it. I
Yes.
think it was Solomonster that had the idea of, I want to see vignettes of Charlotte and Bliss like on the road together, going to restaurants. Maybe they get a flat tire and they have to help each other out. Maybe, fun scenarios like that. Like think about Bryan Danielson and Kane in the diner when Kane forced Danielson to eat meat. And after he had like a little morsel, he threw up. Like I want to see stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, with Dr. Shelby, no less.
Yeah.
Like I'm down for it. I'm gonna give this match 3.25 stars, though. I thought it was pretty well wrestled for the most part. I don't think it was necessarily long enough to warrant a higher rating than that. I feel like I would have liked a little bit more drama, but I think maybe you can get that with another match between these two teams. Who knows?
I'm going to give this match 3 stars. It was fun, and I think it accomplished what it set out to accomplish. They had a very fun rematch on Raw a couple of nights later, and now that the Judgment Day is kind of in their rearview mirror, I want to see Charlotte and Bliss do more. They're showing up on Raw, which is cool. It's the first time Charlotte's been on Raw in like 4 years. I want to see them go to NXT. Charlotte and Bliss are pioneers of NXT, and it was cool to see them turn back up. With the relationships they have with like TNA and AAA, I would like to see them cross the border, go defend the titles in AAA, go defend the titles in TNA. There is, sky's the limit when it comes to this team for me.
Yes, yeah, definitely, very much so. Sky also seems to be the limit for this next contest here, which is a grudge match. It's the end of the feud for both guys who have very bright futures in this company, indeed. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, who has been getting very over with this crowd, especially since he started fucking with both Sami Zayn and AJ Styles in the build-up to WrestleMania. To the point where he cut that promo on whatever that show was, voicing his displeasure.
It was just like a post-Raw podcast. It was the Raw After Mania.
Raw talk.
So, thank you. So basically, at Night of Champions, Sami Zayn defeated Karrion Kross. While Sami Zayn was trying to get back into the World Championship picture, Karrion Kross targeted Sami Zayn again, this time injuring his ribs with a lead pipe. This led to a rematch on Monday Night Raw where Kross defeated Zayn because of the injured ribs. And now here we are at the blow-off match, and Karrion is the monkey on Zayn's back that he cannot get rid of. Every time Zayn turns around, Karrion Kross is there. And then one night backstage, Sami Zayn says, at SummerSlam, we're going to end this once and for all. And he just sucker punches the shit out of Kross. But that's exactly what Kross wants. Kross wants the evil side of Sami Zayn to come out. And in this great sit-down interview on Monday Night Raw, Sami Zayn is being interviewed by Michael Cole, I think. And Karrion Kross and Scarlett come in, and Zayn and Kross, they're like, almost nose to nose. And Zayn tells Kross, when I beat you at SummerSlam, okay, if you beat me at SummerSlam, I'll admit it. I will say you're right. But if I beat you, this is done, and you're going to tell me I was right. So, see, a feud doesn't always have to be for a title. It doesn't have to be for a title shot. Just get two guys that hate each other, and it's a grudge match, and I'm a sucker for those.
I was seeing a lot of people compare this program to Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream in NXT Black and Gold, building up to the War Games thing, where Velveteen Dream was constantly trying to get the stoic Aleister Black to say his name and, for lack of better terms, acknowledge him. And then after that fucking banger of a match that they had in War Games, Black sits down next to the beaten down Patrick Clark and he says, "Enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream," and the crowd pops like mad, and I'll never ever forget that.
How eerie is that quote now, taking things into consideration? I think Velveteen Dream is enjoying infamy right now.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. And he is trying to get signed back to WWE, but I don't think it's going to happen. But anyway, this match between Zayn and Kross, I wouldn't say was better than the Night of Champions match. It wasn't really a lot special, unfortunately.
Real quick before you continue, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and I love the stipulation for this match. Had Kross won, Zayn would have to admit that Kross was right, that Zayn was not a good person. Since Zayn won, Kross had to admit he was wrong about Zayn. That is a fucking mouthful, and I'm glad they didn't put that on the Tron, because that would have been like 3 sentences altogether.
Yep.
It should have just been called a loser admits the other person is wrong match. Or my favorite stipulation of all time, if Owens loses, he quits.
Man, yeah, it's almost like it's like a kiss my ass match. Yeah,
Fun fact, I saw one of those at the very first house show I ever attended.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Yeah, between Big Show and Goldust.
Oh, I was like, I wonder if Rikishi was in that. No. But anyway, again, match wasn't really a whole lot. Doomsday Saito suplex from Kross, Blue Thunder Bomb from Sami Zayn, which never wins him anything.
Well, neither does the Seattle suplex.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The match gets a little bit more intriguing when Scarlett at ringside tosses the lead pipe to Sami Zayn, and he's looking at it like, do I use this? Do I cheat? Do I pull a John Cena? What's up?
I'm going to blow a huge plot hole in that right now. Sami Zayn, the man's wife, just handed you a lead pipe to use against him. You don't find that suspicious at all?
Yeah.
You don't think you're trying to be suckered into some sort of trap?
It sounds kind of disgusting if you put it that way, though. Like Scarlett handed Zayn Kross's pipe.
I never said it was Kross's pipe. You said that. But Zayn takes this lead pipe and he fucking chucks it at the steel steps and it bounces off. And I was scared it was going to fly into the crowd. And I'm looking at that spot going, Zayn, you didn't have to throw it at the steel steps. You could have just tossed it out of the ring. Like, what was going through this man's mind?
I don't know, man, but it doesn't really lead to much because Kross tries to win with a victory roll. Sami Zayn hits an exploder suplex and one hell of a kick after that.
A very
And
ugly exploder suplex, may I add.
and a very ugly hell of a kick as well. Like, looks like it hit Kross right on the bridge of the nose. And after only 8 minutes or so, Sami Zayn wins this. And this feels very much like the end of Karrion Kross in WWE because it was a very decisive win for Sami. And turns out it was the end of Karrion Kross in WWE. Him and Scarlett are now in the alumni section on WWE.com. And it sucks. It sucks because this is a guy who I feel like is constantly trying to find ways to make television more interesting. And he also seems like the nicest dude. Nicest dude in the world. But
Karrion Kross has the tools. I just think he needed the machine to get behind him, and not only did they not. I'm not going to sit here and say Karrion Kross is a shit wrestler, but I'm also not going to sit here and say he's like AJ Styles or Will Ospreay in the ring. But I still enjoy him, and this is one of those instances where I'm going to be a fan over a critic and say, I wanted to see the man do more. I feel like I've always low-key been a Karrion Kross defender. There are some fans still claiming that this is a work and he's going to be back. And to that, I'm not going to look too much into that because just don't give me hope. In the great words of Hawkeye, don't do that. Give me hope. Like
don't give me hope. And afterwards,
he comes back, cool. Yeah. If he doesn't, hey, there is a platform for him out there somewhere. And just because you're not in WWE anymore doesn't mean you can't be successful other places. I'm not necessarily saying AEW. There's TNA. There's so many other independent promotions where Karrion Kross is going to make a fucking fortune. So I want, if anything, this is a win-win situation for me. Either it's at work and he comes back, or he goes off and he succeeds other places, and I want him to look at WWE and say, "You're lost."
I mean, considering how we were worked, especially on SummerSlam Saturday, like, you never fucking know with this place. And with the R-Truth situation earlier this year as well, I can't really confirm or deny anything. And I don't want to sit here and speculate either, but I will root for Karrion Kross wherever he goes. I hope him and his lovely wife find success everywhere they go.
Oh, yeah.
Sami Zayn looks down at Karrion Kross, and after a decisive victory, next year's Royal Rumble winner looks down at him and says, "We're done." And Kross looks up at him and nods as if to say, "Yes, we are done. You've proved your point."
Yeah. I can't give the match more than 2 stars. I wanted it to be more.
I'm gonna go.
Trust me.
I'm gonna go 2.5. This was not long enough to warrant 3. There was nothing technically wrong with it. It felt more like a TV match than a SummerSlam match, which is unfortunate.
I wanted this to be a banger, but it wasn't. And yeah, if this is the end of Karrion Kross's chapter in WWE, like I said, I want to see this man just succeed at somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to enjoy him wherever he goes. Oh boy, this is a match I was nervous about.
Yep.
For the WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton defends against the Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill.
What time is it? What time is it?
TV time, obviously.
Yeah.
I think I have expressed how upset I was when Jade Cargill won the Queen of the Ring tournament. We could have gone Io Sky versus Asuka, but WWE doesn't want us to let us have fun. They want to push their person. They want to push their person in the top spot. And I was nervous going into this match because Jade Cargill, outside of her match with Naomi at Evolution, has really proven one-on-one scenarios. She still needs a hell of a lot more seasoning as a wrestler. I wanted her to succeed. I do think she's being presented as a big deal, but I can't sit here with confidence and say she can. I don't want to say she's unreliable in the ring, but nothing about her pops in the ring. Unless you put her, like when she has that one-on-one match with Bianca Belair, it's going to be amazing because she has good chemistry with her. But and you have someone in Tiffany Stratton who still hasn't been on the main roster too long. The WWE has clearly strapped the rocket to her.
Yes.
And this is just, I was nervous going into this match.
Yeah, Jade Cargill comes out wearing what looked like Kofi Kingston 2009 attire to honor her Jamaican heritage, which I thought was very cool. Tiffany Stratton comes out, and she is pretty over. She still is. Hard to believe that she's the longest reigning WWE champion right now. Currently at least.
She won the title in January?
I think so. We could be wrong about that. If anybody wants to fact check us in the comments, please feel free to do so and tell us how stupid we are. But anyway, Jade, here's my thing about Jade. I think in small doses, her matches can be fine, but she is, in a lot of ways, I hate to keep making this comparison, a lot like the female Bill Goldberg, because you don't want to put her in there for more than 10 minutes and overexpose her, because her inexperience will shine through. Especially if her opponents in the ring are more experienced than her and better than her, then of course she's going to look like she's inferior.
When Asuka can't pull a good match out of you, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I understand Jade Cargill was the shining toy from AEW that Triple H snatched up. I sit here and I compare both of her runs so far, and I do think maybe AEW handled her a little bit better because they presented her and booked her as the female Goldberg. I think where AEW faltered with her was keeping her in that TBS title box, and she never expanded past that. She never challenged for the women's world championship. She never feuded with opponents outside of her division. She was just TBS champion, defeated everybody, dropped the title to Chris Statlander in a very underwhelming fashion, and then she was gone. We really didn't get to see what else she had to offer in AEW. But here it seems like it's kind of the opposite. But I think where WWE faltered with her from the start was not putting her through NXT. I think she would have flourished in NXT, give her even a 6-month run in NXT, put the title on her there. She could have been under the tutelage of Shawn Michaels and Matt Bloom and all of the trainers they have in NXT. She could have learned the WWE system a little better, but she's not doing terribly. I just wish she was doing better. And I am happy to say this match wasn't a total train wreck, but it also wasn't really anything to write home about.
Yeah, and whoever put this match together absolutely did the right thing, keeping it as short as it was. These two only got 7 minutes, because especially towards the end of the match, you could start to see the inexperience shining through a little bit, because Jade hits her finishing maneuver, the Jaded Slam, and she rolls Tiffy over, and then she realizes she's not close enough to the ropes, so she has to shift her over so that Tiffy's foot can be on the ropes.
And bends all the way back. Clearly trying to get that rope break.
Yeah. It's in situations like that, and this will be a theme for another match that we'll talk about, you kind of have to improvise. If that means Tiffy kicks out of your finishing maneuver, so be it. Everybody kicks out of finishing maneuvers now. So it really does not matter if she kicks out or not.
And Stratton's the champion. If anyone's going to be kicking out a finisher, make your champion look strong.
Yeah. Jade did hit a very impressive choke slam, though, I will say. I think her choke slam was very good. She goes for an avalanche Jaded off the top. Stratton counters with a forward roll and surprisingly hits the prettiest moonsault ever on Jade and retains the title. Pins and wins. I think
that was the right call. That was 100% the right call.
Yeah, Jade probably wasn't ready for it. And a lot of people might argue and say that Tiffy wasn't ready for it. Tiffy's only been in the business for 5 years.
Tiffany Stratton is not only a better worker than Jade Cargill, in my opinion. I think she's more over in her presentation. I think went a little better over with the crowd than Jade Cargill's did. People are asking now what's next for Jade Cargill now that she's obviously not going to win the women's championship right now. I have an idea, and I'm not in love with it. She could be the one to beat Julia for the United States title, but I have a couple of issues with that. Number one, don't make Julia look like a fucking geek. No. You're going to sit there and tell me you put the title on Julia to drop it to Jade Cargill. Number two, I think the United States Championship needs to be built a little better before just putting it on Jade Cargill. And you never know, our WrestleMania match could be Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for the United States Championship, and Bianca Belair could be to that title to what Becky Lynch is doing with the Intercontinental title right now. I'm not in love with that idea only because Julia is the champion right now. If it was anybody else, if Chelsea Green was still the champion, hell, if like Michin was the champion right now, I'd say go for it. Julia's too big of a star to just be the fall geek for Jade Cargill right now. Like
Yep.
if they booked Jade Cargill versus Julia on SmackDown for the title, I would be furious because I wouldn't know where that's going.
Yeah, because that would lead to a burial of Julia, which you cannot do. So what's next for Tiffy after this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure who her next challenger is going to be. Because the story is still certainly there with Bianca and Jade. You could still build to that. You could still put the title on Jade, even though it might not be the strongest decision. But
yeah, you could.
Yeah.
And with Bianca Belair's injury right now, who knows when that's going? It feels like every time they're trying to get this rivalry off the ground, one of them gets injured. Bianca Belair has technically been injured since WrestleMania. She broke, I think, 2 of her fingers in that triple threat match. So I know she's been back on TV, but she has not wrestled since WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this match 2.25. I think it was the right thing to have this match go short, but then again, a very surprising outcome. So that's why I bumped it up a little bit.
I'm gonna give it 2.5 reasons for the same 2.5 reasons. Wow, my gosh, I'm just saying words today.
2.5 reasons.
Stars. Yeah, I'm going to give 2.5 reasons why I didn't think this match was total dog shit. I'm going to give this match 2.5 stars for the same reasons, because the match wasn't horrible. And I think it was in that best time frame for it not to be horrible, because if these ladies went 15 minutes, that would have been bad. That would have been really bad.
It would have been bad.
I'm glad we're past this match now, so we can move on to what's next for both of these ladies. Up next.
Well, and we can also move on to the next one, which I feel like I'm going to have some thoughts about. I was very indifferent on it when I heard that they were building towards this. But I was very pleasantly surprised when we got it. In the celebrity tag team attraction, it is Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. You heard me. It's a random-ass tag team. Versus Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. The same Jelly Roll that we've talked about on these pods for a little bit, the same Jelly Roll that R-Truth was mistakenly believing was in the Judgment Day's clubhouse, and he was eating a bunch of Jelly Rolls in there. The same
That's
Jelly
cannibalism. That's horrible.
I know. It's a horrible idea. The same Jelly Roll who last year looked like he was a complete, he was like 2 refrigerators compacted into one human being. And when he was training for this under the tutelage of The Undertaker, he slimmed down. He went all the way down. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life. He's 292 now, which is far healthier than he was. So mad props to him for getting in shape for this and actually, wanting to learn about wrestling, because he is an avid wrestling fan, like a lot of us are. He's
Jelly
an avid
Roll is a very inspirational person. He is a country music star, and he is very open about his life. He used to be addicted to drugs, and he was in a very abusive relationship, which is why he was so big. And ever since he got out of both, he has sobered up and he has trimmed down tremendously. He wanted to do this wrestling thing for a minute. And this is where I was saying earlier about the shut the fuck up and have fun, because I thought this match was fun, and I keep hearing people saying, oh my God, I never want to see Jelly Roll in the ring again. WWE has to do their celebrity matches and don't expect to see this all the time. And if I never see Jelly Roll wrestle again, you're not going to see him do this. It's like, oh my fucking God, he's a celebrity. People know who he is. The first thing I did when this match was announced is I text my mom, because my mom's a big Jelly Roll fan. And
is she really?
Yeah.
No shit. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
And I was literally updating her as the match was going on, how he was doing in the match. It's like, and the match wasn't bad. The match was fun. And this is just one of those instances where I say, take the stick out of your ass and have fun.
It was very fun.
So much wrestling every week. I've said it again. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision, TNA, MLW, New Japan Pro Wrestling Noah, Stardom, all the wrestling you would ever consume. This one match on this one show, and you're mad that a celebrity is in it, just get over it. just get the fuck over it. At least it's a celebrity that cares.
Yeah, at least it's not. What's a good example of a celebrity? At least it's not
Al Sharpton.
At least it's not Jeremy Piven. You know, at least it's not. I mean, I love the man. At least it's not John Heater. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if John Heater didn't care when he was guest host of Raw, but he
At
also
least it's not two NASCAR drivers who didn't know who Kofi Kingston was.
you also have a fucking built-in singer for Randy Orton's theme song for the night.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds really cool. So, and Logan Paul was instigating Jelly Roll a lot in the builds of this match, and he instigated him a little bit to start, because Randy Orton was going to start the match. And the cool thing was, as soon as the bell rang, Jelly Roll tags himself in, and he was like, I want him. Give him to me. You know, he wants to beat the shit out of these guys. And
when
he starts doing it.
Matches, I only care about three things. Number one, do they care? Number two, how do they look in the ring? Number three, are they willing to bump? Jelly Roll did all three.
Yep. He took a massive frog splash from Logan Paul off the top through an announce table.
God, he gets so much props for that.
Yeah.
So much props. And you're going to hate that I enjoyed this. Logan took 2 Prime bottles and he bashed them together Stone Cold Steve Austin style, delivered that magnificent frog splash, and Jelly Roll took all of it through the announce table.
Yeah, you know, and the crowd should have started chanting Gatorade at Logan Paul because that's funny as fuck. But in any regard, one of the big stories, because Jelly Roll's the celebrity and you don't want to put him in the ring for too long, you write him off like at the halfway point with that frog splash. You have the medics start helping him to the back. The heels beat up the 295-pound Viper that's in front of them, like it's a handicap match. And then the celebrity comes in and he comes in and he starts hitting clotheslines, and Logan Paul's bumping like crazy for this guy. See, I've said my fair share about Logan Paul. Okay? I know how I feel about him. I don't like him. And that is okay.
I thought he was your favorite wrestler in the world.
Yeah,
and personality.
Oh, and let me guess, he should have beaten AJ Styles at WrestleMania because that's what happened. AJ put over the young gun. He put over the YouTuber. Yeah, no, that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. AJ should have won that match. But Logan, he is, again, bumping like crazy for the country singer. He takes a black hole slam, which turns out to be Jelly Roll's finishing maneuver, which Michael Cole calls the black roll slam. You know, and Michael Cole needs to chill out with these puns, man.
Is it?
It really does.
How random that I'm craving a jelly-filled donut now.
Well, I mean, you know, there's a Dunkin' right down the street, probably. There's
not actually.
I'm sure there's a donut shop somewhere, but Drew, oh man, Jelly Roll also took a Claymore from Drew McIntyre, which can't have been fun. Because Drew looked like a fucking menace in there. Randy hits an RKO, and Logan Paul sends Randy into the steel post. Logan Paul hits the... Oh, good lord, these fucking finisher names. The Paul from Grace. The frog splash.
Well, at least he didn't hit his other finisher, the pulverizer.
Well, I mean, he can't lift he can't lift up Jelly Roll for the pulverizer. This was fun.
So upset, yeah. People getting so upset over Jelly Roll in this match, and I was making jokes like, I want to see Jelly Roll do a 450. I want to see Jelly Roll do a spiral tap. I want to see Jelly Roll do a shooting star press. It's like, it's pro wrestling, guys. I understand it's our passion and our love and it's our favorite hobby, but some of y'all take this a little too seriously. And you need to learn how to goof off. Have you ever just gone to the park or something?
Guys, I want to just advise you. Take that stick that's lodged up your asshole and to the left and just pull it out. Learn to have a little bit of fun. Okay? I
just have some questions for these people. Have you ever just gone to the park and gone on the swings, gone down a slide? Have you ever gone to Disneyland? Have you ever
gone to a movie? Have you ever
purchased a video game and just sat there and played it for a few hours?
You ever touch grass?
Yeah.
You ever go camping? You know how to have fun?
I'm gonna quote Greg. Any of y'all get laid?
God damn it, man. I'm gonna go with this is gonna sound nuts, Tomas. I'm going 3.5 on this match.
I agree.
This was a lot of fun, and that is the same. That's the same rating I gave the opener.
People who are still mad about this, guys, Drew McIntyre is next in line for a WWE Championship match.
That's my problem with this match. That's my problem with this match. Drew should have gotten the pin. And I'm not just saying that because I fucking hate Logan Paul. I'm not. Logan Paul is facing John Cena Clash in Paris. Whoop-de-doo. I'm so glad that Logan is not Cena's final opponent. But if Drew is going to be the guy, if Drew's going to be Cody's first challenger, give him a big fucking win on pay-per-view. Don't have the YouTuber take the pin over him. Like,
good point. I see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, because Drew McIntyre has been so deep in the shitter ever since the CM Punk feud ended. Like, give him something, please. I'm begging you. Like,
I agree with it, but at least
Drew McIntyre.
He's still getting the championship match, and
then he should have gotten the pin.
And Drew McIntyre, honestly, he was the guy I thought was going to take the title off of Cody in the beginning. I think.
He's not.
I would say we're very much bearing the lead with the main event, but now that Cody is WWE champion again, obviously I think he needs to hold it to WrestleMania, but at least McIntyre is getting a main event championship match. And that's another point of this match people aren't getting. The celebrity lost. We don't see that a lot.
Jelly Roll, actually, I read up, Jelly Roll insisted on losing this match, which, mad props to him for wanting to put the full-timers over. As if. I'm calling Logan Paul a full-timer. He's not.
The only person I feel bad for is, Randy Orton, when it rains, it pours. Outside of WrestleMania, how many pay-per-view matches has this guy won?
I'm still waiting on the Randy versus Cody feud.
We got the match already. I swear to God, I don't want to put. We were in Legacy. No one gives a fuck about Legacy. I don't give a fuck about Legacy.
We got to turn him heel. We got to turn him heel. He's got to punt Brandy in the head and kiss her on SmackDown or something. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know.
Or he can kiss Cody because that's what Cole said.
Wow. That's. It's 2025. I'm not
Randy
expecting.
Orton DDT'd Stephanie and then planted a kiss on Triple H. He did? Damn. I was watching the wrong episode of Raw.
Well, Triple H is buying a lot of things, and lingual isn't one of them. Right?
Wait, did you just mean to say that?
Yeah. That's fine. We accept you, Triple H. We do.
Well, we're live, pal.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about Taco Bell. But I'm going to... yeah.
All jokes aside, it is now time for our main event of night one. Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against number one contender, CM Punk. CM Punk won a gauntlet match on Monday Night Raw to earn this title shot after Gunther retired Bill Goldberg as Saturday night's main event. And considering that in
Goldberg's best match in years, by the way, the longest match he's had since 2003, those two went 14 minutes. And say what you want about Goldberg, but he hung in there with Gunther, man. He looked like he was having a really fun time in there.
Gunther made him work.
Yeah.
And now we're at this match. And considering that they made this match official 2 weeks before SummerSlam, not a lot of time to build, but I think Punk and Gunther is one of those matches that speaks for itself. They cut a couple of promos on each other, a couple of good promos on each other. And to me, that's all we needed. This is, I forgot where I was going with that, but I will go with this. This match was tremendous.
It was
this match
so awesome.
One of the most physical matches I have seen in quite some time. Because Gunther had his fucking way with CM Punk in this match.
If WWE Unreal is to be believed, this was actually the proposed WrestleMania match for Gunther once upon a time.
Yeah.
And hey, didn't get it at Mania. I guess we're getting it at SummerSlam. It's the WrestleMania they wanted. Here we go.
Better late than never.
This was CM Punk returning to MetLife Stadium for the first time since his match against The Undertaker in 2013 that stole the show. And here he is stealing the show again.
Talk about the gear. I know you want to.
So you know how CM Punk does its clobbering time for his entrance, right? That, of course, is an homage to Ben Grimm / The Thing from the Fantastic Four. CM Punk's gear is literally in Fantastic Four First Steps colors. And there is a joke that I want to make, but I will save it until the very end. But it was very nice to see that.
this is Mr. Fantastic versus Dr. Doom, because Gunther basically is the Dr. Doom of WWE.
Yeah, the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. It's
I
fantastic.
am pretty sure CM Punk went up to Gunther backstage and said, "Don't fucking hold back." And Gunther said, "Say no more, fam.
Gladly.
Say no more."
I mean, that Reed Richards reference might have been a bit of a stretch, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Gunther made CM Punk his bitch in this match. Chop after chop after chop.
Gunther
after chop after chop.
Dominated. He dominated this man. Like, CM Punk has never been dominated like this before. It was almost looking like the John Cena Brock Lesnar SummerSlam 2014 match for a while, where it was pretty much an exhibition squash for a good chunk of it. Like,
they called Gunther the ring general for a reason, because he commanded the pace of this match.
Ring general.
He is Austrian. That's why his name is Gunther, not Gunther. He is the ring general.
Or Walter. His name's not Walter either.
Or Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
Oh my God. I know this has nothing to do with this match, but we finally got the dream match at Saturday night's main event. Water versus Gorg. And if you get that reference, there's a cookie waiting for you in the mail.
Yeah, there's a cookie waiting for you in the mail. So these guys exchanged sharpshooters at one point, and that's, it's an obvious reference because Bret Hart is CM Punk's favorite wrestler. And he locks a sharpshooter on Gunther, who is just selling and selling and selling. He really does not get enough credit for how great he is. I mean, like, not just in general, but, like, no pun intended, he sells like nobody else. This guy is a phenomenal seller, a great storyteller, in addition to being a great ass kicker. He knows how to get his ass kicked. It's great. It's so satisfying.
A good majority of Gunther's offense were those chops. These were chops that had to be heard to be believed. Punk's chest was bleeding by the end of this. It was so red, so bruised, so tender. You could throw CM Punk on the grill and make a filet mignon right then and there.
Oh, he was...
The chest was so tender.
This guy was getting battered and beaten all over the stadium. They brawl to the outside for a little bit. Gunther is gloating at the crowd a little bit. He's on the announce table. CM Punk trips him up. Gunther is under the table for a minute, and he comes up with a crimson mask. Gunther is bleeding everywhere. And Michael Cole is like, oh, this is Punk's chance. He's got Gunther vulnerable.
Props to WWE in 2025 for doing a good old-fashioned blade job, because this was a blade job. There's no way. Because I watched the spot over and over, and considering Gunther went under the announce table, there's no way he cut himself open hard style.
No.
That was a good old-fashioned blade job.
Good old-fashioned. Yeah, it was quite the sight, for sure. Only in CM Punk matches can you see blood like that in WWE nowadays. Punk, it almost felt like Gunther was going for like all 10 of his finishing maneuvers in this thing, including the patented sleeper hold that nobody else in wrestling has ever used. And Punk goes for the GTS. Gunther counters into the sleeper, takes Punk down. Somehow, the smaller man gets Gunther up to his feet, hits one GTS, and Gunther stands there like wobbly, like the tree won't go down. The tree won't go down. Punk picks him up one more time, hits him with another GTS, and after a glorious 30-minute match, CM Punk wins the World Heavyweight Championship. It has been 12 years from the day, almost, that he lost the WWE title to The Rock at the Royal Rumble. Over 12 years, not to the day. But after all the bitterness, after everything he did to try and sabotage WWE, CM Punk is now a champion in this organization again. And I cannot wait for the long and prosperous reign that he has with this title. It's...
Burn it down! Here's the thing.
Fuck!
Shows. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I screamed fuck. Okay, let's talk about Seth Rollins for a second.
Yep.
Saturday main event, Seth Rollins faced LA Knight. In the middle of the match, he did a backflip off the top rope, and his knee buckled. and he immediately crumbled to the corner. The referee checked on him, and then it looked like they went home early. LA Knight hit Seth Rollins with the butt force trauma, got the quick pin on him. LA Knight looked pissed. Seth Rollins looked pissed. Clearly, Seth Rollins was injured.
No, he wasn't.
Of the injury was never specified on TV. All Paul Heyman said was he has until next June with the briefcase, and the speculation was wild for the past few weeks. They should take the briefcase off of him. They should put him on a Money Bank ladder match at SummerSlam. He should just straight up give the briefcase to Braun Breaker. They should make up a rule that no, if you are injured, you can't have the briefcase. And I'm just like, guys, again, and I know that's quote Brock Lesnar in 2019. He has a year.
I got a year to cash in. A year.
Yeah, they weren't going to take the briefcase away from Seth Rollins. But the big question was, is Seth Rollins as injured as he says he is? Because they weren't talking about the severity of the injury. They weren't showing clips of Seth Rollins getting surgery. They weren't saying Rollins is going to be out for 6 to 9 months. They were staying kind of quiet about it.
You know,
and I will say,
what was fishy to me is Raw shortly after Seth got hurt was in Birmingham, which is where all of the wrestlers go to have their injuries examined by Dr. Andrews.
I haven't even gone to Birmingham yet to see Dr. Andrews.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Phil. So with them saying in Birmingham that there was too much swelling on Seth's knee to diagnose an injury, I'm like, something's up here. Something is up. Because there's no way. And if you're Seth Rollins, because his first Money in the Bank cash-in, we were both in the building for at WrestleMania 31. It is still the most famous cash-in of all time. Like over 10 years ago now, which is wild to think about.
Being in attendance for that is probably my favorite wrestling memory of all time.
Yes. So with that in mind, if Seth just goes through with another normal schmo cash-in, like, not saying Naomi's cash-in at Evolution was normal, but
Seth Rollins has been Money in the Bank before.
Yes.
Naomi hasn't. So I think
correct.
There was an obligation for him to talk himself.
That's right. So if he just went through with a normal-ass cash-in, then, especially when you compare it to the heist of the century, then it's going to feel like a letdown. So I think Seth knew that, and he had to try and figure out the most creative way to try and one-up himself. And with that, he did. He goes out there with crutches, and he starts walking to the back. Paul Heyman still has the briefcase in his hand, and Seth just drops the crutches to the ground. And then, I was sitting there, and I'm like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. And
the speculation was wild online. Even people going as far as saying, like, wow, Rollins worked his own daughter, because there was videos of Rollins with his daughter walking in a boot. And this is all I have to say about that. Guys, his daughter is 4.
Yep.
I don't think she even has any idea what's going on. So if
Daddy's got a
boot, I'm sure he just said, I'm hurt, but I'm going to be okay. And she probably just said, okay, and went back to playing with her Barbie dolls.
Daddy's got a fake boo-boo.
Yeah.
He might have said the word fake to her.
Yeah, and if you watch Unreal, Cody's daughter, Liberty, thinks Cody is a professional dancer. So I don't think there's any harm in wearing a boot around his daughter. So people were just looking a little too into this. Yeah. My only concern was, I don't like when WWE plays around with real injuries, because karma bites them in the ass and someone's going to get hurt for real. But the way this was all orchestrated, I think this was by design. And again, it was a really cool visual when Seth Rollins came out with the briefcase. Even Michael Cole said, oh, Rollins is there to remind Punk that he has the briefcase. Rollins turns around to leave, and then he drops the crutches, and I go, motherfucker.
He worked you.
This is too good to be true.
He worked you. This is the ruse of the century. So Punk is now beaten with this Money in the Bank briefcase. Seth cashes it in, hits one curb stomp on CM Punk to regain the World Heavyweight Championship that he held for such a long time a couple of years ago. And it was a beautiful cash-in. And I will also say that this bumps my whole rating of the match. The match itself between Gunther and Punk, I'm giving 4.25, but this cash-in bumps the whole thing up to 4.5. It was fantastic.
I'm giving this whole ordeal 4.75 stars. I thought the
go.
Punk and Gunther section, the portion was excellent. I thought it was very old school. It was physical as all hell. And I think when people complain about this match being too long, got some bad news for you guys. Don't go back and watch WCW matches between Dusty Rhodes and Harley Race. Don't watch Dusty and Flair work, because you're going to be watching two men do rest holds for 30 minutes. Yep. And if that's considered a masterpiece, this is a masterpiece for me as well.
Yep.
The whole ordeal I thought was excellently done. I'm not going to sit here and stroke WWE's cock, because I think they do that enough to themselves. But hey, I have to give credit where credit was due. I thought the Ruse of the Century was a very fun segment. Where they go from here at Clash in Paris, it has just been announced Seth Rollins is going to be defending against Jey Uso, CM Punk, and LA Knight in a fatal four-way match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
That match is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
What I want from this reign is I want it to be fun, and I want the end to be satisfying, whether it be Sami Zayn, whether it be CM Punk. Because if you're going to put the world title back on Seth Rollins after he held it for almost a year, just make it interesting. That's all I ask.
Yeah, and just have Seth put somebody over, and have it be a first-time winner. I don't want it to be CM Punk regaining the title at Clash in Paris. I think you got to build up to it, you know? So, just good, solid stuff here. And CM Punk also wore the Fantastic Four gear because he's foreshadowing a Fantastic 4 minutes as champion, which is cruel of me to say that.
Cannot say CM Punk is not giving back to the business. Since he has come into WWE, this is the only title he's held, and he held it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He has been pinned numerous times, and if Punk wasn't here to give back, he would have won the championship day one, and he would have held that. He would have been having a Roman Reigns level title reign with it right now.
He also can't complain. He knows how Money in the Bank works. He's been Money in the Bank twice. Yeah, he did the same thing to Edge, and he did this to Jeff Hardy. So he knows how this works, you know?
And not to reopen an old wound, but CM Punk has gone on account and said that in AEW, he never wanted to be world champion. The goal was never to win the world championship. Punk's goal in WWE was to main event WrestleMania. And he did it. That's right. So I think for the remainder of his career, he's just giving back.
Yeah. And this Rollins feud, the Punk and Rollins feud, is going to go on for a little while longer. A feud that started literally when Punk came back to WWE almost 2 years ago now. It's just masterful what they're doing. I really, really enjoy it, and I can't wait to see more.
And if CM Punk does end up with the world title around his waist, just like you said with Rollins, I just want to see him put someone over.
Yes, yeah, like a Sami Zayn. Have him win the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, please. That would make me very happy. But yeah, good SummerSlam Saturday. I think I'm going to save my final rating for the show when I get to the end.
If I were to give night one a rating, I'd give it a 7.25 out of 10. I thought it was solid. Obviously, the main event being the best part about the show. I'm not going to call the upper card mediocre. Maybe a little underwhelming at times. We had a solid opener, a fun tag team title match. Say what you want about Zayn and Kross and Stratton and Cargill. Those are matches. A very fun celebrity tag team match and a phenomenal main event.
I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10 because of that. Both tag matches were fun. The celebrity match was fun. Main event was absolutely spectacular. So not really a whole lot for me to complain about, at least. I mean, I kind of wish Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross got a little bit longer of a runtime, but you cannot win them all.
Yeah, especially when you have Julia begging to defend her championship on the show, and no Julia and no United States Championship to be found.
Yeah.
On either night.
Yeah, but Sunday definitely has the stronger card because aside from one match, they're all gimmick matches, which I found very fun.
If the theme of night one was tag team matches, the theme of night two is gimmick matches.
And we start off with a big one. And what seems to be round 2 of WrestleMania, we have a different member of the great African-American women trio in WWE right now. Naomi is defending the Women's World Championship in three-way action against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, directly building off what we just talked about at Evolution with Naomi cashing in during the main event and winning the title in a shocker. And every time you see Io Sky and Rhea Ripley in the same ring together in a match, no matter if it's one-on-one, no matter if it's a triple threat, no matter if it's a fatal four-way, no matter if it's a fatal five-way, you know you're going to at least get a fucking banger. And this one was very good. I wouldn't say it was better than the Mania match. I think that's a bit unrealistic of me to have those expectations because that match might have been the best thing all WrestleMania weekend.
It was.
In hindsight, yes, it definitely was. No doubt about it. But these women went out there and killed it.
It was better than the men's triple threat match night one.
Oh, you think? You think so? With the Paul Heyman
was on the line.
With Benedict Heyman at the end, joining Seth Rollins. Yeah.
It might as well have been a Paul Heyman on a pole match.
Yikes. But I mean, these three, what do you want me to say about it? I mean, there were a lot of points where the crowd was very into Io Sky doing the thing where she's pointing at her head. I'm smart.
I cannot praise Naomi's presentation enough. Her new gimmick is absolutely amazing.
Oh, yes. She comes out. Yes. Naomi has a very special entrance. Her father, who actually was a guitarist for a while for the band Kool and the Gang, which is a fact that I did not know. Yeah. I thought that was very cool that WWE brought him out. He plays his daughter to the ring in what I'm sure was a very special moment for her. And
that was so fucking cool.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Naomi's winning this match. I mean,
you know what I was thinking after this entrance? She goes down to the ring. I look at my friends and I say, and you're telling me I have to boo this woman?
Yeah, she's a heel. She's the heel.
She just entered the ring with her father playing guitar, and I'm supposed to boo this woman?
Yeah, you are.
That's wild.
You are. You know, just like you're supposed to have Cody Rhodes greet his wife and daughter at ringside at WrestleMania 39 with the big presidential entrance, and then have him lose. Right?
Yeah.
You know, just yeah. Anyway, I digress. Rhea Ripley really. I know I've said it all, man, but she really is the face of women's wrestling right now. Yes. She hits a razor's edge on Io Sky, which I'm sure Scott Hall would appreciate as a move that is constantly getting kicked out of. Yeah. Whether it's Rhea Ripley, whether it's Damian Priest, it's not a finisher.
Scott Hall, I'm pretty sure, has done a 360 in his grave at this point.
Yeah, with how many times his finisher gotten kicked out of, yeah. I don't know.
Next time the razor's edge gets kicked out of, I swear to God, he is going to emerge from the grave as a zombie, go up to whoever's doing it, smack them across the face, and say, "Hey, yo, knock it off."
Don't do that. Throw the toothpick.
Yeah, and then he's gonna limp back to his grave, and people are gonna be like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Big yikes.
Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to stop using his finisher now.
Yeah, I mean, there were some really good near falls in this thing too. Some stiff looking power bombs as well. I mean, Io Sky's not really known for being a powerhouse, but Naomi and Ripley are both very, very strong women in their own right. Ripley hits Naomi with a riptide. Great save by Io Sky. All the way through. You could tell that this match had stakes to it. I would argue that this title is more prestigious than the one Tiffany Stratton is holding right now. Just because of the quality of matches that we're getting by comparison to the other show. That's what I'm thinking. I think women's wrestling on Raw is far superior. So
it is. It is just like tag team wrestling on SmackDown is a lot better than Raw.
Yeah. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley picking up right where they left off from Evolution. Ripley goes for the Avalanche Riptide. She does hit the Avalanche Riptide, but she only gets a 2 count because as Rhea Ripley is doing the missionary pin, as I like to call it, Naomi sneaks up from behind Rhea and pins her with a schoolboy to retain the title. Again, another finish I was not expecting. I was expecting Naomi to retain. I was expecting Io Sky to be the fall girl, though. I was not expecting Rhea Ripley to take the pin. So,
which, again, it's a breath of fresh air. Rhea Ripley is one of the most over people, period, in the company. She's not going to combust into flames if she gets pinned. And how many times Naomi has reminded us so many times. She warned us to proceed with caution, and I feel like none of you are listening to her.
Yeah, you're constantly cheering for her. You know, you keep buying the tickets to come and see her.
Or you keep doubting her. And she said to proceed with caution. And I don't think any of you are taking her warning seriously.
How come
if you get worked by her again, you have no one to blame but yourself.
How come the title belt isn't made out of caution tape by this point?
It should.
It should be. It should be. Just like the piece of shit title that she had earlier was glowing, you know?
Yeah. Like Owen Hart's looking down on her head and saying, my girl, proceed with caution.
I fucking forgot that Owen Hart had that singlet, too, when he was a short-lived member of the Black Stable, the Nation of Domination, right?
Yeah.
You know? And now I'm looking at MJF and the Hurt Syndicate, and I'm thinking, oh, this is Owen Hart and the Nation of Domination.
Well, I got some bad news for you, buddy. I was right, because MJF is no longer in the group.
Which is very, very disappointing, indeed.
No,
I wanted more.
Right call.
I
wanted the right call.
I wanted more of that. But
it was the right call.
Speaking of I wanted more of that, a match that I was very happy to see on this pay-per-view.
Oh, boy. We were talking about tag teams. You like tag teams? You like tag team wrestling? Do you like Carnage? Do you like Destruction?
Yeah.
How about almost every single tag team on SmackDown in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE tag team titles?
Let's
go.
You
have Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy of the Wyatt Six defending against Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, Braxium, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. We are talking about the best of the best of the best tag teams that WWE has to offer. The only teams left out of this match are Los Garza, because they are the AAA tag team champions, and Pretty Deadly, because unfortunately Elton Prince is out with an injury. This is what happens when, first of all, you cuck the tag team titles out of a match at WrestleMania, and this is how you make up for it. 6 tag teams, TLC, 20 years to the date of the first ever TLC match.
25 years.
25, thank you. What else could you ask for? And right off the bat, before we talk about a single spot in this match, I'm just going to say this. I have heard time and time again, this was just a spot fest. This is like every other. I don't fucking care. I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
I don't care. That's like if you baked me a fresh batch of chocolate chip cookies and I just said, oh my goodness, these are warm and chewy and gooey and delicious. I don't fucking care. I know what I'm going to expect. That's why I want them.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting from this match. I wasn't expecting anything else. I wasn't expecting these guys to have a submission match or an Iron Man match or anything else.
Or a last man standing match.
I knew exactly what I was getting myself into, and I don't fucking care. It was awesome.
It was so incredible. And these tag teams are showing the whole world why you should never sleep on this tag team division, especially one as stacked as SmackDown's is. Because Raw's tag team division was the one that was showcased at Mania with the Viking Raiders and the New Day. It was, I mean...
Let me say it again.
Look at who's in this match. Look at who's here.
Against the Raw tag team division. They have New Day, Viking Raiders, the Judgment Day, the Creed Brothers, the Latino World Order. It's all fine and dandy. But like you were just about to say, DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits, Braxium. This is the best of the best WWE has to offer.
Rey Fenix and Andrade. Rey Fenix is on SummerSlam. Penta is not, by the way. So, what else are you expecting this match to be? This was a fucking chaotic, beautiful mess that went on for, how long was this match? It was
16 minutes.
It was so fast paced. I will also say, fucking Alicia Taylor introduces 2 of the teams that were in the very first TLC match. It was very cool to see the Dudleys and the Hardys at ringside. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, where's the third team? Where's Edge and Christian? Huh? Where are they?
One of my when I brought that point up, one of my friends said, "Oh, why aren't they there?" And I go, because they're in AEW, that's why." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's right."
yeah, you guys are fucking cowards. Bring Edge and Christian back for one night. I don't give a shit. I don't care what it takes.
I don't think Tony Khan would let them.
But because he's telling the story of them reuniting. Because Christian said, "Go fuck yourself," and then Edge said, "Go find yourself."
Well,
You
I don't
know?
know about Edge. He's been retired for like 3 years now. I
No,
miss that guy.
it's Edge. It's Edge. It's the
I
same
miss
guy.
Edge. I haven't seen him since
It's the
2023 when he
same
wrestled Sheamus.
guy, same music, same fucking gear. It's Edge.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Cope with it.
I refuse to call him Cope, but
No,
I mean
cope with it. Just cope with it.
some of the spots in this match. I mean, there's too many to fucking list.
Okay, I remember Ray Fenix doing a moonsault into a table. I remember Axiom doing a Spanish fly to Angelo Dawkins through a table.
That was sick, dude. That was so sick.
It's like it's one of those 40 minutes of a move match. I want to talk about my favorite spot in the match when the women got involved.
Dude.
First of all, Candice LeRae comes out of nowhere. She comes out of freaking purgatory.
I mean, not out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, yeah, because she's married to Johnny Gargano. She's going to help her husband.
The last time I've seen her on TV. She, like I said, she comes out of fucking purgatory and she tries to help her husband win the match, only for Nikki Cross to get involved, only for B-Fab to get involved. And then Candice LeRae gets shoved off the ladder and she goes knees first through a ladder. Moment of silence.
Yeah, accidentally by her husband, by the way.
Yeah, moment of silence for Candice LeRae, who died for her sin.
Yeah. Thank you.
She fucking died for her sins.
DIY was also freaking awesome in this match. It was great to see my boy Johnny Gargano on a pay-per-view again.
And Johnny Gargano, after shoving his wife off a ladder, looks at the titles, looks at her wife, looks at his wife, and goes, "Yeah, good job," and then goes to win the titles. I think Wade Barrett, Michael Cole called him out on it. It's like you just left your wife to die, and Wade Barrett was defending it.
Heel Johnny Gargano is so funny, man.
Let me guess, they should do more with him. He should be WWE champion.
Damn right he should be. Tommaso Ciampa also does a Spider-Man. He's hanging upside down from the cables that are high above the ring, and I'm like, oh man, he's about to jump down and hit Bonesaw McGraw or something.
And what led to that, you may ask? Nathan Frazier was attempting to recreate the spot with Edge with Edge and Jeff Hardy hanging from the titles in that magnificent spear. Frazier went for the spear, and Ciampa lifted himself up by his legs, and Frazier just crashed and burned.
Yes. Oh, it was so glorious. I mean, the only thing missing was Tommaso Ciampa hitting an RKO out of nowhere, especially since he was doing a lot of training to do that. But, I mean, everybody looked good in this. Fraxium, I mean, they're one of the most exciting new tag teams that started off as a random tag team, but now they're not so much anymore.
Even the makeshift team of Andrade and Fenix were super fun to watch.
They were. I mean, it probably would have been an even more stacked match if it was actually the fucking Lucha Brothers in there. But, you know, Andrade and Rey Fenix is a random tag team by comparison. But, you know, got to give Andrade something to do before he leaves to AEW again. So what we have also, we have a bunch of Wyatt Six interference too, because they're a fucking faction. So they should be getting involved. Like Nikki Cross, to your point, Sister Abigail. The Vintner also gets involved, and he is just mowing people down because he's bigger than pretty much every single man in this contest. The Vintner is a very tall individual. Clotheslining Motor City Machine Guns down left and right. I mean, it's cool to see him. Uncle Howdy was also getting involved. Bo Dallas. Bo took a big bump, didn't he?
I think he did. I think he got shoved off a ladder too.
And he's the leader of the faction.
Yeah. Hey, he's taking one for his teammates.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if I were booking a faction, I would make sure your leader stays as strong as possible. I mean,
my new boss actually quoted something to me, and it's a book he wants me to read. It's called Why the Best Leaders Eat Last.
Yeah. Interesting.
Or you want another, maybe a little more relatable reference? Avengers Infinity War, when Black Panther and Captain America were getting ready to fight Thanos and his army. Who was in the front? Black Panther. A good leader has to be willing to take one for the team. A good leader has to lead by example.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it, at least.
Yeah, but I feel like every great wrestling faction, the leader has to be in contention for some sort of world title. And I'm not saying that the Wyatt Six are like a phenomenal faction. I mean, they've certainly cooled off since they murdered Chad Gable backstage and turned him
But
into.
I still think they're a good faction.
They are a good faction. I just think they need to do more with them. I mean, the tag team titles is nice, but you got to give more for your leader to do. Like, Bo Dallas should be a prominent feature on television every single week. We should be seeing some sort of Uncle Howdy vignette, some sort of spooky
Fair
shit.
enough.
That's what I want. I want more for Bo. Like that's all I'm asking for. So, I mean, there's a lot I'm asking for. Really. I mean, the more I think about it,
But nonetheless, Gacy and Loomis do retain the WWE Tag Team titles in a phenomenal match. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It was 4.25. I had so much fun watching this match.
So it was
everything I could have asked for.
I'm going 4.5. This was incredible. It was so awesome. By the way, it was a sunset flip powerbomb from, of all people, Andrade, because he's the only person who does sunset flip bombs at this point, a la Eddie Guerrero. Ray Fenix does take the final bump of the match. He goes to a table, I think, and then Gacy and Loomis retain the titles. I don't know why they're not defending them in Freebird. Like, it's... This
give
faction...
Gacy and Loomis because honestly, I think Gacy and Loomis are the best workers in the faction.
Really?
Yeah. Rowan's your heater. Bo Dallas is your leader, and Nikki Cross is the crazy female.
Nikki's got a secret. Nikki's got a secret.
I would love to hear her secret. Anywho, as a bug flies past my face.
Right. Okay, speaking of women's wrestling, this is probably the biggest disagreement we're going to get into all podcasts.
Oh, have you missed us arguing? Well, do we have a treat for you? We're going to argue.
Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria in a no disqualification match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, the blow-off. If Lyra Valkyria loses, she can no longer challenge for the Women's Intercontinental title. I'm just going to come out and say it right now. Tomas can tell you whatever the fuck he wants about this match. I am here to tell you the truth. That is what I'm here to do on this podcast. This match was the weakest of the 3. Like, there is no doubt about it.
Yeah. Was a good match.
Okay, please explain to me why you think this is a good match.
Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria have put on banger matches ever since they started feuding after WrestleMania for this Women's Intercontinental Championship. Their match at Backlash was phenomenal. Their match at Money in the Bank was even better. And I really like the storytelling they told in this match. I think it really helped Lyra Valkyria get even more over with the crowd, with her being the one against the odds. Early on in the match, Becky Lynch, and I know what you're going to say about this, but I still enjoyed the spot, tied Valkyria's hands up with the zip tie, and Valkyria had to work half of the match tied in these zip ties, and she was doing things you shouldn't be able to do while zip tied together. She does a moonsault. She does a drop kick off of a chair into Becky Lynch. I thought the storytelling was really good. And I thought the assortment of weapons they introduced in this match, I mean, yeah, sure, you still have your usual suspects, your tables, your kendo sticks, your steel chairs. There was a crowbar introduced in the match. There was the good old-fashioned fire extinguisher that was introduced into the match. I thought the storytelling was really good. I do have my issues with the match, but I think the core of the match I thought was really good. I don't think you can go wrong when it comes with these 2 women.
And yeah, usually you can't. I'm not going to sit here and say this was a horrible match, but this was a gigantic step down from even their Money in the Bank match, their most recent one. How?
Your turn.
I'll tell you why. 2 reasons. Number 1, this match was way too fucking long. I think if you cut this match in half, it would have been a whole lot better. Because it felt like there were a lot of points where these 2 women were just like walking around the ringside area. And yeah, they were doing stuff. But it almost felt like they were looking more for weapons rather than doing shit to each other. And yeah, you have the zip ties. This is the other thing. I love Lyra Valkyria. I really do. But remember how I said earlier that there's certain situations where you kind of have to improvise? I was talking about how Tiffy should have just kicked out of the Jaded instead of waiting for Jade Cargill to pull Tiffy closer to the ropes. There's a point, and I've rewatched this since we talked about this. Lyra Valkyria's hand very clearly slips out of the zip ties. And she's trying to be slick about it, but she's trying to put it back in, right? So she can do the spots that she was assigned to do. Number one, your hand slips out of the zip ties, it's game over. Like, you can't, like, you have to redirect and you have to follow the path of least resistance. Go like water and try and tell a different story with the match, because a lot of the story was built around her being zip tied. If her hand slips out, boom, that's over. You got to tell something different. It was impressive. It's impressive the stuff she was doing, but considering that she had her hand slip out, do you remember? I know a lot of people like to forget about this match for obvious reasons. There was a point. I'm going to harken back to Undertaker versus the Boss Man inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 15. A match that sucks. I'm not going to sit here and say that this match was nearly on that level of suckiness. But Taker was handcuffed to the cell for a little while. And he is in that thing for only about 15, 20 seconds. Boss Man is beating up on him. Taker falls down and the handcuffs break. And suddenly they're like, oh shit, now we have to redirect. We have to tell a different story. Why couldn't the women do that when Lyra's hand slipped out?
Fair. I understand that is a very fair point, and I do understand the criticisms of the match, and I really do. I appreciate your take on this match, and I appreciate the criticisms you're presenting.
Likewise.
Because I just feel like the other people I've seen criticize this match have just been like, this match was horrible. It was long and stupid and boring and this. And it's like, are we just going to ignore the good ring work that was in the match and the story that these two ladies are really good at putting on? Because don't get me wrong, I'm going to go to the finish with this. And this was my biggest issue with the match. And considering the fallout of the match, I see where they're going and I kind of like elements of it. But Bayley just emerges. And I know
out of nowhere.
Bayley and Lyra Valkyria's relationship has kind of been on the rocks. They had a random tag team title match the week before, and they got screwed out of that. So Bayley has kind of just been in the way of Lyra Valkyria's Intercontinental Championship aspirations. And on top of that, Bayley was the one who lost to Valkyria in a 2 out of 3 falls match for Valkyria to get this title match in the beginning. So Bayley appears, and then Becky Lynch is telling her, hit her with the crowbar, hit her, just take her out. And I'm just sitting there going did I miss something? I don't think this was ever teased, the possibility of Bayley turning on Lyra Valkyria. I don't think, if you want to tell that story, that's fine, but there was no foreshadowing to this. There was no, if anything, Bayley feels like she's a burden to Lyra Valkyria, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why they are teasing this. Oh, will Bayley turn on Lyra Valkyria? I don't think that was ever in the cards to begin with. Bayley decides not to. She attacks Becky Lynch, but because of the distraction, and I think an unintentional assist from Bayley, Becky Lynch is able to hit the manhandle slam and defeat Lyra Valkyria to retain the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And now Lyra Valkyria can never challenge for the championship as long as Becky Lynch is the champion. That is the one aspect.
Which brings me to reason number 3 why I didn't like this match. The wrong woman went over.
I agree.
This feud, if it's going to end, Becky Lynch is known for putting the younger generation over, right? I think she's known for being one of the most selfless female workers ever. So I felt like this was the right time to have Lyra beat Becky and regain the title. And it gives Bayley a reason to turn on Lyra because she has the belt now. And Becky Lynch can go on to either, challenge the Women's World Champion. She can have a program with the likes of Stephanie Vaquer if she wanted to. But Lyra and Bayley's, they have a built-in program right there. And the IC title is something Bayley's never won yet. So why not? Why not just have Bayley and Lyra go at it for the title?
I totally understand and agree with that because I feel like the whole purpose of having Becky Lynch in the Intercontinental Championship picture is because fans were starting to get a little weary of her too. And if you put her right back into the world title picture, the Becky Hogan comments are going to be coming out of the woodworks. And I think they're trying to take a different approach with Becky Lynch, just like Charlotte Flair. So having her in this title program was the best thing for her. But to have her continue to hold the title, let's look at Monday Night Raw. She defended against Maxine Dupree. There is no clear next opponent for Becky Lynch. Meanwhile, for Lyra Valkyria, there is. And I understand the story they're trying to tell with her and Bayley right now. And I really like what they're doing with Bayley. Bayley's like she's like having an identity crisis right now. She feels like her career has kind of come to a screeching halt. She lost the women's championship. She can't win the Intercontinental Championship. She feels like she's a burden to Lyra Valkyria. She feels very lost. So I am looking very forward to seeing what they do with Bayley. But with Lyra Valkyria, it's like, what's next for her if it's not this feud with Bayley? And then also putting that extra blockade of she cannot challenge for the title until Becky Lynch drops it.
Yeah, I mean, the IC title should be the stepping stone, like, theoretically, to the world title. And I don't know if Lyra's ready for that yet. So, time will tell, man. Time will tell. I don't know where this is going to go. I am very curious to see how you rated this.
I gave this match 4 stars because I really enjoyed the in-ring work. And I really enjoyed Valkyria and Lynch's chemistry. I thought about bumping it down to a 3 3/4, but I just like watching these women work. I thought all 3 of their matches were very good. I still think their Money in the Bank match is the best match of the trilogy.
Oh, it totally is. No, there's
I just
no
think
question.
They have excellent chemistry. Becky Lynch brought the best out of Lyra Valkyria in this feud, and I like seeing them get the big stage of SummerSlam. And I thought the spots with the weapons were very creative.
I can't go higher than a 3. I'm sorry. This was kind of disappointing, if I'm being honest, because, you know, you have the zip tie situation. You have the built-in story with Bayley kind of being, you know, pushed to the wayside in favor of putting Becky over. And Becky should not have gone over in this. I fully believe that. Yeah, I mean...
I've also seen, like, the idea of, move Becky Lynch to SmackDown. Guys, Seth Rollins is on Raw. They're not going to split that couple up. Where one goes, the other follows. If one's the world champion on Raw now, they're not just going to split them up and send Becky Lynch to SmackDown. It's just not how the wrestling world works now.
Yeah.
Where one goes, the other's going to follow. That's like moving Candice LeRae to Raw and just like splitting her off from Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
So I understand and I see and I respect your criticisms of the match, but I really enjoyed it.
All right, and that's fine. That is totally fine if you enjoyed it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what matches you can and can't enjoy. This just wasn't for me, and that's fine.
And to ease off of it a little, and this is the point I wanted to bring up in the TLC match real quick before we go on to the next match. I hope people caught the post-show and DIY and Candice LeRae in the backstage segment was fucking comedy gold. I don't know what happened to Gargano, but he got hit in the throat and he was selling the throat like he lost his voice. And Gargano was going on and on and on about like, I was hurt. My throat was hurt. I was going to be a voice actor after I was done wrestling. What character has a voice like this? What character has a voice like this? And Tommaso Ciampa is just sitting in the corner and he's just yelling, we were robbed. We were screwed. We were screwed. And every time Candice LeRae tried to get a word out, Ciampa's like, he's a father. I'm an uncle. It was fucking hilarious.
You want to know what? You want to
watch the segment. DIY is gold.
You want to know what really grinds my gears?
This next match.
Oh man, yeah. I'll let you talk about it real quick. Yeah, but this
I
next
want to know
match
what
was
grinds your gears.
Randy Orton. Oh, look at me! I'm Randy Orton. I'm going for a stupid swim. You know, like that's what grinds my gears.
Let me guess. The RKO bombs are funnier than the Glorious bombs.
Out of nowhere. Stupid.
Well, I really, really, really hate to ruin the mood with this next match.
Go for it.
But it's Solo Sikoa defending the United States Championship against Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match. First thing I'm going to admit, I think the build and the rivalry between these two is actually pretty fun. We see a lot of guys on SmackDown showcase because of it. But other than that, oh boy, I really dug to the through the trenches and I scraped the bottom of the barrel of nice things to say about this match, and I couldn't find anything. This match did not need to be a steel cage match.
It's kind of boring. Kind of boring, wasn't it?
Very boring. The heat was there, but this wasn't steel cage blow-off heat.
No.
I know we had a no disqualification match, and we had a street fight at the end of the show.
We had a TLC match.
I have no other solution for this than this didn't need to be on the show.
No, it didn't. And it's unfortunate because I'm a big Jacob Fatu mark, as you know. Solo Sikoa is really starting to come into his own as a comedic heel character. And I know a lot of people are sitting here and saying, oh, the motherfucking tree, the MFT, is the worst faction of all time. Because, I mean, that's what it stands for, right? A motherfucking tree. You know?
Okay, I also have to clear up. It's called the MFT, not the MFTs. The MFT, because it stands for My Family Tree. They're not all individually trees. It's one fucking tree.
I mean, Talatonga looks like a tree by himself. You know, with how long his hair is, and how tall he is. What?
You know what this faction is missing?
I mean, yeah. So I'm also telling you that your buddy Jeff Cobb is a tree. You know,
he is. He's a tree trunk.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb is the tree trunk.
JC Mateo is an absolute unit.
He's an absolute unit of a man. Yeah, just like the Monster Abyss. But it. Fuck, man, you're right.
To say about this match.
I really don't. Solo Sikoa retains by escaping the cage, and I'm sure Jesse Ventura's freaking out somewhere because you can't walk out the cage door.
When is the last time we've had a cage match where the finish wasn't someone escaping through the door?
What the hell did he do that for?
My friend Victor, who I'm going to name drop on this podcast, had a really good point. If you're going to do escape the door, at least be creative like Kofi Kingston was at Stomping Grounds.
Yes. Yeah, because I remember like Nick Nemeth was crawling towards the door and then Kofi had to dive over him.
That is the most creative way I've seen the door be used in a steel cage.
Well, and this match also was built towards the aftermath with the MFT coming in there and beating up Jacob Fatu, only for Fatu to fight back. And he does the moonsault off the top of the cage.
Also, am I the only one who feels like he made the MFT look like a bunch of geeks?
Oh, of course he did. Without any hesitation whatsoever. He did.
Fatu fights all three of them off. Tonga is a very large man. JC Mateo is a very large man. And Tongaloa is a man. And
but Fatu he also has more Royal Rumble victories than CM Punk does.
He does. That's why I'm saying Tongaloa is one of the wrestlers of all time. Yeah. And then Fatu does a moonsault off the cage, which is impressive in execution, but the fall itself just looked very, I don't know, underwhelming.
Safe.
It's like, it was safe, and I did not care for this. I did not care for this at all. I'm going to give this a 1 3/4. This was very boring.
Yeah. Star and 3/4 for me, man. And I hate saying that. I really do. It's
probably the worst Jacob Fatu match I've seen since he's debuted.
Definitely. And I'm not going to sit here and say it was his fault. I think it's just how the match was structured because he's still very over. He is very over with this crowd. But I don't think keeping him in the U.S. title picture is good for his overall future because I see him as a world champion down the line. So you can't keep him in the title picture forever. And I predicted him to regain the title, but I think it was probably better for him not to. Speaking of mid-card titles and a match I was very looking forward to and almost a comedic feud, which is crazy saying that considering who's involved, Dirty Dominic Mysterio is defending against AJ Styles. So
for the Intercontinental Championship.
That's right. Yep. So it's
take it away because I know there's so much about this you want to mark out about.
It's such a fun feud. And Dominic, I guess, was supposed to defend against AJ. I don't remember if it was at Night of Champions or if it was somewhere else. Yeah. So I think it was because Dominic was legit injured at the time. It wasn't the speculation of Dom did not want to go to Saudi Arabia. He was dealing with a legit injury, so that is my fault. I did not know that he was legit injured at the time.
I mean, it was a fair speculation considering what was going on.
Yeah. Oh, totally. But Dominic, he is trying to dodge AJ Styles at every turn, and AJ is coming up with different ways to try and haunt Dominic Mysterio. He is sitting in the background, for example, praying that Dominic Mysterio can get cleared to compete against him for the Intercontinental title.
Because you told me the other day he was praying the gay away.
Easy. The gay community.
He was also praying that the world actually is flat.
Yeah. No, this feud is, unlike AJ Styles' preferred terrain, this feud is definitely not flat, for sure. This was, and AJ also tries to valet park Dominic's car for him. He dresses up like a valet driver, it's almost like he's Breezango. Which is crazy to say that, because remember how Breezango was coming up with all these disguises and, ways to get at the Usos and get at the...
they were janitors, they were pilots.
It's a title. No. That's a belt. Yeah. You want to talk about good puns. Yeah.
The janitor, they were pilots on an episode of NXT. They were also really good at getting Beth Phoenix to say sexual innuendos on TV. Which was probably one of the most underrated relationships I've seen, Beth Phoenix and Breezango. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. But it also should be noted, this is a battle of 20-plus year vets. It seems like yesterday that 8-year-old Dominic Mysterio's custody was being fought over in a ladder match at SummerSlam 20 years ago. That is just wild to me. He comes out... love bringing that match up, don't they?
Well, get ready, because... this match is littered with those references. Dominic comes out, and his gear is pretty much the same color his father's was during that ladder match. I'm talking about his deadbeat dad. And AJ comes out in a lowrider with his son Avery, who is blonde, like Dominic was back then. And he is wearing the Eddie Guerrero tights with the Eddie Guerrero flame boots just to get in Dominic's head. And the back of his tie says Styles in Latino heat form in the font. And
he was also wearing a shirt that said Styles Heat. And there's two things I want to say about this gear. Number one, AJ Styles looks clean as fuck in the Eddie gear.
Yes.
Number two, watching AJ Styles wrestle without gloves was a little cursed.
Thank you.
Just a little cursed.
It's also because he was wearing the elbow pads and the tape like Eddie did at SummerSlam. Yeah. So it was the only thing missing was where the fuck was Vicky? God damn it!
Unless you were there for it, it has been edited out of the Peacock version. And all I have to say about that is WWE, you're a bunch of cowards.
Yeah, you're a bunch of cowards. Vicky Guerrero, Mr. Q. That's got to be immortalized. So
that's not the only thing she apologizes for.
Fuck me, man. But anyway, this was a good match. It was a really good match, I thought. It
was fun.
It was
creative.
It's an AJ Styles match. Of course it's going to be good. He's never going to have a bad match.
I think the only thing that bogged it down for me a little was I feel like this is a match we've seen before. There was nothing really about it that screamed pay-per-view, but it was really fun. I think both wrestlers, they have good chemistry. I think Styles and Dom have very underrated chemistry with each other. And the comedy really kind of exploded in this match. I loved it. My favorite spot in the match was when a chair got introduced with it. And both Dom and Eddie tried to do the lying, cheating, and stealing gimmick with each other, with the referee looking up and going, what happened?
Yes.
And
Dominic,
especially when Styles puts his head through the chair and Pillmanizes himself.
AJ is pretty underratedly funny, my friends.
He is.
He really is. He's like Sting now. He understands the joke of professional wrestling, and now he's at a point in his career where he plays along with it. So, bless AJ Styles' heart for that. The finish comes around, and that was, so the lying, cheating, and stealing stuff was, it leads into a pretty big flex of a callback to WrestleMania 20. Remember, Eddie Guerrero was selling the ankle lock. He was constantly finding ways out of the ankle lock. He was untying his boot to try and, escape the ankle lock and, relieve the pain in his ankle. But it turns out Eddie was never hurt at all. He rolls out of it, the boot goes flying, and he beats Angle with the inside cradle and retains the title. You kind of have a similar finish to this in a way. AJ Styles has Dom locked in a calf killer. The boot flies off, and Dominic... with the fucking cowskin boot. What? My God, he's such an asshole. He hits AJ in the head with it, hits him with his father's frog splash, and pins him to retain. These two got... How long was this match? I'm trying to see.
They got 11 minutes. I think they got the job done. They got their point across in those 11 minutes.
I'm going to go 3.5. I enjoyed this. I'm
going to give it 3.25. Again, very fun, very entertaining. I feel like it's just something... I don't want to say this could have been a Raw match, but I don't know. There was something about it that was like, we've seen something like that. I thought that finish was super duper creative, even to the point where Styles gave Dom credit for the finish on Raw the next night. I do think Styles needs to be the one to defeat Dominic Mysterio for the championship. Where? We shall see.
Do it in Paris.
Doing this feud.
Do it in Paris, where the crowd will chant, "Il est vraiment venu, na 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 na." Yeah, no, the crowd's gonna fucking lose it if AJ wins in Paris.
And that's gonna be awesome when they chant that at Styles.
That's right. It's also gonna be awesome when they chant de simplement de at every breakout.
Eddie is Dom's real father.
That's correct. Yeah. That's right. And I think I sent you that image of Rey Mysterio's social media post after that match. Do I dare quote that if I find it?
Do it, because Rey was caught over 12 years ago saying Rey can't wait to beat his kids.
Rey was a savage. Okay, here it is. Incredible 20-year tribute, Eddie versus Rey from AJ Styles and Dominic, a.k.a. Dirty Dom. #respect. Still wish Eddie would have beat me and kept Dom's custody. At least Rey Mysterio's in on the joke. At least he is in on the joke. So I will appreciate that.
Have you ever seen the WWE, or basically anyone for that point, be like, hey, sorry I gave you that piece of shit earlier in the year. Here's a makeup for it. That's what this match is. That's what this main event is. For the WWE Championship, in his last appearance at SummerSlam, so it's all grace his appearance, John Cena defends against Cody Rhodes in a street fight. And let's elephant in the room, out of the way now. We were building to this normal. Cena tried to weasel his way out of the match by saying, I'm not going to be at SummerSlam. I'm filming for a movie. So Cody put his ass through a table and forced Cena to sign the contract. In the last SmackDown going into SummerSlam, John Cena said, thanks, Cody. Thanks for the kick in the ass. The real John Cena is back. And he basically denounces his whole heel turn. He said that he almost threw away 20 plus years of his career and his fans for Shock TV.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry to anybody who misses the John Cena heel turn. This guy was born to be a babyface. And he's babyface until the final beat. The heel run was fun for what it was. I think a lot of people had very unrealistically high expectations for what to expect from a John Cena heel turn. He cut some fun promos, and it looked like he was having a blast doing it. He looked like he was playing the hand that he was dealt, because he's a professional. So here he is back to doing what he does best. And this right here...
so before we go into the match, I think what I want to take out of the heel turn was 11 years too late. If they would have did this in 2013, 2014, hell, 2012, when he was doing the shit with Kane, it would have made sense. It would have played perfectly into the story. It would have been the perfect time to do it. But considering Cena is in his retirement year, considering the majority of the fans have turned, the curve with John Cena, and they respect him and they respect what he does in and out of the ring, it just didn't work. If they would have went into a not so obvious direction with the heel turn, then yeah, this could have been a lot more fun. But they were trying to squeeze they were trying to rush it, and it just did not come off the way we wanted it to. And even though I was I was on the optimistic side of the heel turn. Like I appreciated what Cena gave us during the heel turn, but yeah, this was, I'm gonna say it was a failed experiment, and I put all of the blame on WWE for booking it the way they did.
I also put the blame on The Rock for not following through and actually being John Cena's Palpatine and actually fucking showing up. So you could actually tell the story of John Cena selling his soul to the final boss. And don't fucking include Travis Scott in it either. Like, and John Cena even bashed that and said the only platinum rapper showing up to beat your ass is you, which is a hell of a line. So he comes out and for this match, and he has the colorful LEDs back. He's doing the thing. He's talking to Stu, the cameraman, and he's running to the ring. And it's like, babyface John Cena's back. And Cody, yeah.
I will admit, I thought it was bullshit in the beginning. I heard about the promo. I saw the way Cena was coming to the ring, and I go, you're not fooling anyone, Cena. He's going to pull some shit in this match, because I guess I was just jaded to the whole idea. Like, don't tease me like that. But basically, oh, and before we get into that, Cody's entrance yes. was amazing.
Yeah, you get quotes from his father with polka dots written all over the LEDs, saying how proud he is of his son. And as callous as it may sound, this was originally from a promo that Dusty was directing towards Dustin. Not Cody, Dustin. So it's, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that, but it was a very heartfelt entrance for Cody.
I was fine with it, because when I have never heard this promo before, so I automatically assumed it was AI, like a lot of other fans did. And when I thought it was AI, my first thought was, well, if this was Cody's idea, then I'm not going to shit on it. But then finding out it was actually two Dusty promos spliced together, I thought that was a really cool tribute. Those are words that Dusty's never going to ever be able to say to Cody. So I love that was a tribute to his father. And the mask. Oh my God. I love Cody's masks and the evolution of the masks.
The American Nightmare helmets. Yeah. He comes out like a literal American hero, an American nightmare. Yeah. Cody's the guy, man. I mean, I've said it time and time again. He's the quarterback. So get used to it. Get used to it, everybody. He's the face. And this right here, 38 minutes of a street fight, and it's living proof that a babyface versus babyface match can work. This was everything the WrestleMania main event should have been. And,
then some.
Yes, this was WWE's match of the year so far. And it might be WWE's match of the year when it's all said and done. I don't care if it was 38 minutes. It was so enjoyable. The pace was perfect the entire way through. John Cena was pulling out moves that he hasn't been pulling off for like years. Code Red on the outside. The only thing missing was a springboard stunner. Cena was looking like his old self again. And it makes me think that he was intentionally being lazy as fuck in his heel matches, so that when you eventually do get the babyface turn, the 2015 John Cena pops out of nowhere. And
calling him washed was crazy.
Yeah,
saying Cena was washed was absolutely insane.
Makes me think Cena was doing that on purpose.
This match was amazing, and it took a few minutes for it to like process with me that the old John Cena was back. No more of this heel bullshit, and him and Cody put on a banger. And not only did they put on a banger, they bumped for each other like crazy.
Yeah, tables were broken. They were fighting all over ringside, fighting through the crowd. It felt like an Attitude Era style main event in that way. One of my favorite visuals, again, John Cena's goofy ass faces coming into play here. He has Cody on his shoulders for an attitude adjustment while he's going up the Cody Vader, and Cena's smile is like, I'm gonna hit him with an attitude adjustment off this Cody Vader. Watch.
Man, that's the best joke that came out of this Cena heel run. But yeah, that was probably the most amazing visual from this match. was seeing Cena rise with the Cody Vader, with Cody on his shoulders, ready for an attitude adjustment. And you know what this match felt like? And how fitting it was that we just did our 200th episode with our top 10 favorite matches of all time. This was the equivalent to, we talked about Rock and Hogan. We talked about Rock and Cena. This is the torch passing. This was Cena passing the torch to Cody. This is what we should have got at WrestleMania.
In the same building where The Rock passed the torch to Cena in 2013.
Yeah.
Which is full circle, if you really think about it. These guys are, they're pulling out all the stops. The bottom rope is broken off, and John Cena locks Cody in the STFU with the bottom rope, just like he did to Umaga back in 2007. It was a crazy-ass visual. Cody somehow escapes it. These two are just beating each other pillar to post. They're giving each other their best. Cody cutters, 5-knuckle shuffles, which you could hear from the outer part of the stadium, from the parking lot. Everybody was yelling, "You can't see me." And you look back at John Cena's entire performance in this match, from his entrance all the way to the aftermath. Not a single boo for this man.
No.
Single boo, because they know he is on his last 10 dates or so with this company before he hangs it up for good. So they're going to enjoy it like nobody else.
Light boost for Cody. And that was a little concerning, I will have to say. I know the big storyline speculation going into this match was, are we going to see a double turn?
No.
Is Cody going to turn heel and Cena's going to turn face? I'm glad they didn't. And I saw like a little bit of a hinting towards that. But here's why this can't happen right now. And this is what I'm going to say. Cena's leaving. After December, he's gone. He's done. He's not going to wrestle anymore. If you turn Cody heel now, who's your top babyface? It's not CM Punk.
It's not Randy.
It's not Roman Reigns. It's not Randy Orton.
No.
Unfortunately, it's not Jey Uso. Cody Rhodes is your big babyface. That's like asking John Cena, even though we said it would have been the better option, that's like asking John Cena to go heel in 2011 and saying Randy Orton's the new babyface.
God,
as great as he is, he's not the guy.
No, he isn't. It's unfortunate to say that, but he isn't. And the near falls in this match too. They had you. Cody hits 3 crossroads in a row, which usually is the nuclear option for him. Cena kicks out of it because Cena's Superman, and the crowd was chanting Super Cena at that, which I think is a great joke. Cena hits the avalanche attitude adjustment on Cody for a near fall. These fans did not want this match to end. I did not want this match to end. It felt like these two were wrestling this match with a huge chip on their shoulder because they knew that the Mania match was mediocre. So they had to deliver, and they absolutely did. And the right person also won this match. Cody hits a Cody cutter through one of the Slim Jim tables. He hits one more crossroads on the greatest of all time, and he pins him to regain the WWE Championship. 5 stars. I'm just going to say that. This match was brilliant.
4 3/4. I'm going to go 4 3/4. I'm going to go 4 3/4.
Dagger.
I think the only little blemish on the match was Cena not really selling the Cody cutter through the table. And I don't know, that last crossroads didn't feel like tactic. It's just like, I needed more like on that crossroads. This was after Cena kicked out of the triple crossroads.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, Cena's gimmick, ironically enough, is that he's Superman. Coming from the Peacemaker himself. He's Superman in WWE. So I'm willing to give that little blemish a pass because I really did love this match. And John Cena shakes Cody's hand after. Cody's in tears as he holds the belt high. Once again, the quarterback of this organization. John Cena basically tells him, "I gave you everything I got. You beat the real John Cena."
Yeah. Also, I have to say, this match was so good that I'm going to go back to our WrestleMania 41 review and change my rating to Cena and Cody to 2.5 stars.
No interference, no Travis Scott getting involved. John Cena is actually giving it his all here intentionally. Yeah, it was brilliant. Brilliant main event.
know,
And that's it. That's SummerSlam. Nothing else happened.
I heard this comparison last night in a different kind of video. This match was like if somebody served you a gourmet hamburger from Chef Ramsay himself, and then the WrestleMania match was like a McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese that's been sitting in the fridge for 3 days. The comparison is night and day. This
It
match
really
was
is
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
Go
as we're
watch it
sitting
again.
there, Cody leaves with the WWE title. Cena is in the ring for this last SummerSlam, soaking it in.
Cody gives Cena the ring.
Yeah. And I thought that was the end of the show.
It is the end of the show. Nothing else happened.
And then Brock Lesnar's music hit.
Oh yeah, that. I don't give a fuck. I could not give a flying fuck about this. Because take the fact that he's named 42 times in a sex trafficking lawsuit. You know, Brock Lesnar was brought in, and I don't want to hear that John Cena requested him. I do not believe that.
Because that's already been proven false.
It's been proven false. Brock Lesnar comes back shockingly, and once again, just like he did in 2012, he F5s John Cena in the middle of the ring, so we're going to get that at some point. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. I don't care. I mean, it's going to happen. They're going to do what they want to do. I just don't understand why they would bring this guy back at this point. You know, if he was legally cleared, like...
Brock Lesnar's music hit, and my candid reaction was me screaming no to the heavens. And as I was waiting for him to come out, my exact words were, no, he's not real. I will not believe it until I see him, let alone we see it. Lesnar comes out. He circles the ring like a shark looking at Cena, goes into the ring, nails Cena with an F5. This is the only somewhat semi-positive thing that I will say before going into the obvious criticisms of this angle. When you're talking about John Cena's career and you're talking about his greatest rivalries, you can't not bring Brock Lesnar into the conversation. Brock Lesnar has always been John Cena's kryptonite throughout his entire career. He was the one man he really couldn't emphatically beat, unless you want to count Extreme Rules 2012.
You know, you could also say that about Edge.
Yeah, absolutely. 100, 1 million, 1,000%. I'm not defending the decision whatsoever.
You could also say that about Edge.
I'm just thinking about my thoughts in the moment. And I was really in the mindset of, I don't like it, but here we are. But I am 100% in agreement with you. I don't understand why bring him back now. I also don't understand, you couldn't wait another year? Like, we're still in the midst of this case.
And it's very fishy as well that WWE effectively immediately canceled all the post-show pressers because they knew that they were going to get questions about this guy being on their TV again, and they were tucking their tail between their legs and saying, we don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah.
So...
great quotes that we've gotten over the week, and we knew we were going to get these. But it's still surprising nonetheless. I mean, I shouldn't say it's surprising. It's disappointing. You have people like Triple H saying, oh, yeah, I can't do the Triple H voice. This is where I need Greg. Triple H saying things like, oh, we called Brock Lesnar and we told him he needed to come home. And Lesnar said that it was time. And that's bullshit. You had Nick Khan saying, well, he wasn't found guilty of anything and he wasn't convicted of anything. Still named 44 times in a sex trafficking lawsuit.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
so
like,
until the lawsuit clears, then yeah, that's when you bring him back, if you do. And even if you don't bring him back, he put Cody over on his way out. And he improvised, and he shook Cody's hand and hugged him afterwards. That's a perfect way for Brock to go off.
I can't think of one person that's clamoring for Brock Lesnar to be in the WWE right now.
I'm not.
Because outside of this Cena match and maybe a match with Gunther, I would rather swallow broken glass than see him be WWE champion again.
Swallow real glass?
I have zero, and I mean zero interest in seeing Brock Lesnar do anything in the WWE. I'm over him. I've gotten my fill.
Yeah.
I've gotten my fill and then some.
I'm done. I'm done.
I don't need Brock Lesnar in my life anymore. I had Brock Lesnar in my life for 21 years. That's enough Brock Lesnar.
Now I know how Deadlock feels about Tommy Dreamer. This guy just won't get out of my fucking life.
Oh, no. I think you're thinking of Val Venus.
Oh, Val Venus? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, shit. It shows you how much I know. But, I mean, I don't care. I really don't care about Brock Lesnar at this point. But it was certainly if they were going for the shock factor, they certainly got it at the end. But this show, Sunday, I think it's an 8.5 out of 10. Which rounds up my overall score to an 8 out of 10 for this SummerSlam. I thought for the first 2-night event for the summer, really, really solid stuff.
I'm going to go 7.75 out of 10 for the second night. And overall, I'm going to give the whole both nights, 7.5 out of 10. Very, very, very solid SummerSlam. Very fun 2 nights. We had some misses on the undercard. Steel cage match was fucking horrible. A couple of matches on night 1 I really didn't care for. But overall, very fun SummerSlam, and I can't complain about a lot other than bringing Brock Lesnar back.
Yeah. But I'm indifferent towards it. Can't really, yell too much about it. But hit that subscribe.
Whenever I think about this Lesnar return, I just go back and think, wow, Cody and Cena had a banger of a main event.
Yeah, that's what the story should be, is the match of the year just happening and Cody regaining his title. That should be the lasting image of this SummerSlam, but...
Yeah. And to lighten the mood a little, let's think of it this way. Guys, we're in the home stretch. John Cena has 8 more dates left in his retirement run.
Yep. And it's already confirmed that he's wrestling Logan Paul in Paris. So that should be at least a fun match, which Cena should absolutely win.
It will be a good match.
It will be a good match. I never said it wouldn't be. But hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that thumbs up. We got Forbidden Door coming up, Clash in Paris. We got our retros as well. Any other lasting thoughts, my friend, before I sign off?
No, this was a very solid night of wrestling, and expect more out of us. We have Clash in Paris coming out at the end of the month. We have AEW... Forbidden Door. I almost said Worlds Collide. I'm getting the crossover shows mixed up. When is that? Is that?
It's the 24th, which I won't be able to watch it live. So
I think that's the day after I get back from my trip. So more wrestling coming your way. We haven't forgotten about the retrospective. We will get to it. Yes. Always expect wrestling from us. There's always wrestling to talk about. We're on the never-ending train that will never end.
Yes, this is the train that doesn't end. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, my friends.